We should be. Let me refresh the Twitch page to check.
We're always
Technically,
on
you could
the internet.
technically have a flump as a familiar.
Yes.
Okay, yes, we are live.
Alright.
We are live.
We buy live. Woohoo!
I love that effectively a flump is just an aberration skunk.
Okay, starting the link bomb.
What? Can't find familiar yet? But if she did, I'd hope she gets something like a flump.
I mean, there's a lot of things you can get as being a familiar.
Just grabbing those spells and putting them in the Chewinga's thing.
Sorry for the creaky chair noises.
Oh, by the way, probably more or less as soon as the game wraps tonight, I'm just gonna dissolve.
Tired? Or gotta get up early tomorrow, or what?
No one questions it? Alright.
Oh, Danny just questioned it.
Yeah. I asked if you were tired, or if it was a case of you have to get up early tomorrow.
Oh, no. Code Vein launches tonight.
I have
Oh,
no
it
idea
does?
what that...
Uh-huh.
Oh.
They actually opened up the download servers yesterday, and they're actually launching the game tonight.
Oh, if only I had the money.
I had the money like 4 weeks ago, so I spent it.
I'm assuming this is a video game.
Anime Dark Souls, but with vampires.
Okay.
We're about to get real edgy.
Can you tell I don't play a whole lot of the video games?
You play a lot of the video games, just not the type we play.
There are some who would probably call me a filthy casual.
Yes.
But hey, I
There's nothing
have...
wrong with being a casual.
Exactly, I have fun with what I play.
But they're ignorant.
No. Bad.
I have fun with what I play.
Fair enough. Oh, that's a really terrible thing you can technically have as a familiar. You could just have a Slad Tadpole as a familiar.
Ew.
Oh no. Also, holy... God Eater 3's already out? When did this happen?
That came out like 4 months ago. That was out since earlier this year.
You can probably guess I don't keep up on game news all that much.
Like, let me look it up, because I remember that came out quite a bit earlier this year.
I just only now saw it.
Come on, computer. You know how to work.
Okay, what if I move this to the side?
That's not what I typed, computer. Ah, yes, I totally wanted to type Geeter 3 release god instead of God Eater 3 release date.
Oh, goodness.
God Eater 3. That's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that one.
Yeah.
Or do you
It's
mean
released.
or is there a movie out
Its
now?
release date was February 8th.
Huh. I just never heard it coming out.
It kind of did get a silent release, weirdly enough.
It's very different to the other ones.
Yeah, the pacing is pretty different compared to the other ones.
I just mean like the general theme. It's like, yeah, we just do not give a
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
about God Eaters anymore. Throw them in prison.
Where now the people who are actually can potentially become God Eaters are like mandatorily forced into that role rather than volunteering to be the heroes of humanity.
Yeah. It's like fuck all the pretenses. Slap some bracelets on them. Send them to jail. Then send them out to get killed.
I also didn't realize that Judgment came out. Might have to buy that.
What's Judgment?
Basically, completely new game, but it's basically Yakuza.
Ah. That makes sense why I haven't heard of that one. Then that wouldn't have been on my watch list.
Yeah, Yakuza's story's been considered done. So they made a new property using the same kind of engine and gameplay called Judgment, where you're a cop.
I wonder when they're gonna come out with their next Assassin's Creed game.
Oh yeah, that's another familiar you can have. Space Hamster.
Oh, like Boo!
He's pass without trace.
Not to mention the many terrible demons you can have.
Yes, I just have this Pit Fiend as a familiar.
I was more referring to the fact you can just have a Lemure as a familiar.
I thought of something awful.
God help everyone if Fauzi got a fucking succubus or an incubus.
Too high CR. Can't summon as a familiar.
Can you
Somehow
imagine-
magic bullshit item that she finds.
Just fails. He finds an iron flask. It has succubus in it.
Katia, she tries to cast Find Familiar, expecting something like small, like a Chewinga, and then just gets a fucking abyssal creature.
Gets a giant snail that slithers over her.
You've had all of your
I can think of
Pers-
I can think of as if it was an abyssal chicken.
I don't know why, but that made me think of that meme of the rooster doing the "I'm watching you" thing that says "Bah."
I mean, I
Gawk.
literally and you.
Sorry.
Last one is resistance.
Potential familiars there are.
Why do I get a feeling I'm gonna have to sit this creature on Keta's head to keep her alive? Like, you just sit on Keta's head and cast resistance. Bay.
Your job, protect the child.
Again, we'll see if it even listens to you.
And I was just kidding. I just saw that it had at-will resistance. It's like, Yeah, just sit on Keta's head before she jumps in front of another train.
Pat runs away.
It's only one time. One time.
No, the one that needs resistance is Lee. Because I'm coming! Punches through a ship wall.
Gotcha.
I don't think he means resistance.
He does. It's just he's gotten lucky enough not to kill himself yet.
Lee is luck-wise is the NPC embodiment of the luck that happened at our in-person game with Star.
Star is an abnormality. It's like, what if everything went right for a change in D&D?
Yeah, and she's adorable. Creepy, but adorable. I mean, heck, we're having to wait on Myth. Do you want to tell the story of Star?
Star is a living embodiment of what happens if you take what would have effectively been a 30-foot tall eldritch abomination, blew its brains out several times over, even though it regenerates naturally, and then taught it how to be nice.
Yes.
That's the short version. The long and without context version is what happens when a bard and a cleric get together with some goo and make a baby.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And then the monk's just in the background like, I will protect horse. Because that's all I did.
Alright, Star's the character that I coloured in.
Yeah. I use that design in the home game to represent this terrible eldritch abomination thing.
It's Bane.
Baby!
I had to pause to finish eating.
I feel like I'm the only one that knows that meme.
It's so cold.
Apparently, yes.
Okay.
Yes, what?
About Ash being the only one who knows that meme.
Okay.
I'm guessing this one action in the Chewinga is something that is at DM's discretion.
Yes. It has to decide to make that for you. And then I have a list of potential things it can make.
Okay, but is everyone here and ready now?
I mean, we still don't have Myth, but yeah.
No, I'm here.
It's here.
Oh, I didn't hear you get back. I don't know why I didn't hear you get back, considering you responded to me.
I don't know. It's because it was right when you started telling the story.
Maybe.
I mean, honestly, I think it probably just became a voice in my head, so it's just like, oh, yeah, he's there. He's always there.
Huh. But yeah, let's do real quick player introductions and then we can get into this. Andy.
Hello, I am Andy. And, if I may, I have a quick shout out.
Go for it.
Happy birthday, Tim! For when I sent you the pod. Another year older, another year wiser, dude.
Happy birthday, you now are 1 year older.
Oh, and Andy, you should still have the link to the one song, so you could send him a link to that as well.
I am.
Next person.
Hello. I have cat on my lap, and I am a returner. And that's it. I'm tired, so not really much to say.
That's fair.
Excuse me.
Hello, I am the Danny Boop. Y'all should hopefully know me by now. And for those wondering what the hell is she working on this time, I'm knitting on a sweater.
She is being your traditional down-home grandma and making a sweater.
Yee.
Ow.
Feelsy,
it is
your turn.
I am failed rolls. I don't make sweaters.
I mean, you draw them occasionally.
I can draw, I just can't knit.
Failsy is the good bean.
IMF.
You're always so slow in the draw when it comes to introductions.
Yeah, I know.
It's all good. Is that all you wanted to say?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Hello everyone. I am Ash, also known as Jim. I'm still not over that, even though I said I was.
It almost sounded like you said also known as Jim. I was like, what? Oh.
Jim with G-E-M.
Hi, Jim.
Yeah, I just misheard it.
Papa Bow Clam!
God.
Yeah, anyways. Is everyone ready to enter a mystical, magical world where there's
Yeah.
snakes and temples?
Yee. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Last time on the Scattered Realm, Session 18, our band of intrepid adventurers, Keta the Solicitus Bard, Dravinche the Human Dancer, Woragon the Hexblade Warlock, Failsy the Sorcerer, and Brimstone, the newly discovered, not widower, continued their stay at the Zemodus Temple within the Flagora Desert, witnessing a strange ritual, the Festival of Radiance, where souls of the departed may speak through seers to those that have yet to join them on the cycle of rebirth. A final comfort to many, or in the case of our heroes, a strange warning. They are also given a chance to finally meet the matriarch and current long-standing queen of the Zemodus Temple, Lady Voltolia, who accidentally revealed many bits of info that left the party without. I know how to English. I speak for extended periods of time. Doesn't mean I'm good at what I do. They left the party with far more questions than it gave them answers, and even a trip to the temple's archives still left them wanting for more in many cases. So we're pretty much picking right back up on the same day where you guys have been doing your study. It's getting to at the point where you guys would be leaving the archive probably fairly late in the afternoon, getting close to mid-evening times. I'd say for those of you who know for certain and for those of you who can estimate, probably about 6, 7 o'clock right now. And you guys have been here since the early afternoon.
Is he?
Yes, dear.
Do you know where I could talk with somebody about getting something made from the stand I got?
Failsy thinks for a second. Where is the Crystarium?
The Crystallum is actually towards the bottom of the current structure of the underground glass kingdom that is under the Zemodus Temple. It's
And where in
towards
the
it's towards the bottom and basically in the exact middle of the structure.
that's where Keta can get something made out of sand, right?
Yeah, that is also what you have referred to it as the glass forge, because that's effectively what it is.
Yes, we can go down to the glass forge and find something for you.
No, I see. I got the red sand and the blue sand, and I wanted to make something for my mom. Well, for both my parents, but I can't really send it to my mom, so I have to give it to my dad.
That's fair. Off to the glass forge it is.
Anybody else want to come with? Or, I mean, I don't want to drag anybody else with us.
Well, I was hoping to have a discussion with them. So if you don't mind my tagging along.
Failsy, do you know how long of a walk it takes to get down there? Because I have a spell I want to show you guys.
From
How
where you
long
are
is that walk?
from where you are right now, you're in the archive, which is also fairly close towards the bottom of the structure. Mostly just because it's kept away from a lot of natural light and in a place that, oddly enough, is kept very dry. They somehow managed that. So you would know that to get to the glass forge from here is probably about a 30-minute walk.
Snakes are very
Well.
smart.
Probably more about an hour walk for you guys, since most of you can't take the slither tunnels.
Should take us about an hour.
Okay. So just let me know, like, so I can show you the spell. Cause, turns out the books my aunt wrote, she wrote something about something that she does to herself with the spell. Promise.
Give you a bit of context, Andy. That's not something your aunt does to herself. That's something your aunt figured out how to do to other people based off what's around her constantly.
Also,
wait.
also, Primstone just
Okay.
you might want to clarify
Don't worry,
exactly what you mean.
Okay, so you've met Aunt Indra. She's really pretty, and she has these sparkles around her, or at least what I think are sparkles. I'm not sure.
Definitely Spark.
She learned that she could take those sparkles and put them on someone else and make them really hot.
Hot sparkles?
Okay.
I think she means attractive, not body temperature wise.
Oh.
Well, I guess it won't do anything to me then.
Oh, you could use some work.
Cast it on him. She points at Dravinia.
Really now?
Yeah, a little phrase on your clothing, all that kind of stuff. Oh, it's really perfect.
Jamel is just keeping her mouth shut.
This is Andy laughing, trying to keep a straight face as Kenta says this.
Hmm.
I mean, and look at me. I need to lose some weight. I gained some weight, and I need to build up some muscle so I can be strong. But that's gonna be a long time.
That
Anyway,
sounds like
let's
the
get walking.
opposite things there, Keta. She says, hugging her very large lady friend next to her.
Build up some weight, gain some muscle. That's not what you need to be attractive. Hugs the literal embodiment of a bodybuilder waifu.
Well,
Yeah.
Keta said lose some weight, but then build some muscles. Like,
I mean, that's technically kind of what you do. You don't really lose that much weight, but yeah.
Let's get walking. I'm really excited to show you guys this spell.
Why don't you just show it to us now?
You kind of only can hold on to it for an hour.
Is there a particular reason you want it in the forge?
Well, people can look at me and I'm dirty. I'm not saying like race wise or anything. No, I'm dirty.
No, you're actually quite clean right now.
I
Important
thought I
note,
said
you
that.
guys are kept very clean in this temple.
Yeah.
Remember, they don't let you guys be dirty here.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by nothing but glass. Where is there to get dirty?
Yeah, it is kept clean as a whistle down here.
I thought I still had the ink.
I don't
on
know,
my-
Dravenche. Try to get something dirty and find out what happens.
I still had the ink on my arms. Sorry, I was doing a lot of writing.
I mean, we have other things for that. You don't need to cast a proper spell just to clean ink off yourself.
I can't learn the spell that fails your nose yet.
But
Well, then
Filthy
just
knows
come
it.
here. She puts her hand on the ink splotch and just rubs it away using prestidigitation.
I was going to say, just like, Simba.
Okay, so since we're right here, I'll show you now because it's really cool. And Kat is going to going to pull out her guitar and cast Indra's Glamour on herself.
Alright, so,
Pop it up for you.
yes, go ahead and pop it up for the sake of the chat. Yeah, so much like an early 90s transformation sequence, Keta is surrounded in sparkles and glow. And just coming out of it, she has like the high definition vignetting that certain artists would do to try to highlight a character's attractiveness. None of her features per se have changed, but they seem much more appealing.
Yeah. More striking.
Yes.
So
Still a
cherry
squeak,
blossom
though.
background and kawaii Desu eyes.
Pretty much.
And Lee is confused. Again.
Lee's just looking at her, just like, I don't know, nothing changed.
Oh.
Aw.
He was either with us or he got bored in the archives and went back to the kitchen.
Oh no, he's been reading cookbooks.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wait, I cast a spell. And Kat is what?
I mean,
Kat is-
you're kind of like sparkly now, but nothing else changed.
This lad is too pure.
No, he already views Keta as attractive. Nothing changes.
Yeah, sure.
She just has sparkles now.
And Keta might actually already have advantage on charisma checks against Lee. That's not important.
Yeah, that's fair. Ow.
I just wanted to share the new spell that I learned too. So,
Okay.
can light the way.
Fallacy keeping quiet about some of the spells she's picked up here.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you just refreshed your knowledge of some old spell books that you'd been looking through previously, but not known how to use yet. Yes,
Sorry.
stuff.
Because technically, I now have a subtle glow around me.
Yeah. Alright, so you guys are continuing forward along this path. It's particularly long and winding, as pretty much everywhere in this Under Kingdom is. You've noticed that it almost seems kind of random how some of these tunnels are put together. But I actually like a few of you to... I'll say 3 of you. You guys can elect 2 of the 3. Or who of the 3 of you can do this? Make perception checks.
I make one.
Or just rely on your passive perception if you'd prefer that.
I have
None
a
of us-
decent perception check.
Fallacy has a
I-
1 perception.
Yeah, I think the best one of us is Keta.
I have a +4 to perception.
Alright,
which-
so Jodavinci took 1 roll, Keta can take another, someone else can take the 3rd and final.
I mean, I can do the last one because I have
Yeah,
a
I
+2.
think- Yeah, Morrigan has a higher one than Failsy, right?
Fallacy has almost no wisdom.
Alright, so
I had more, but then I switched it to intelligence.
perception?
Yes.
Intelligence became the more relevant stat for you, and yes.
Yes.
I just set my thing. Right. Perception.
Because
Boom.
my grit no longer relies on 15s all around.
15s
Triple
across the
15.
board.
15. It's good because that's high enough.
Oh, yay.
Because that's what you need.
No, this isn't a hard thing to notice. It's more or less
Okay.
if you guys would notice it, period.
Fair enough.
A couple of you, as you're walking, getting closer towards the center of this massive structure, you're noticing that there are a couple of tubes that you pass by that is no foot traffic through. There seems to be almost... They're underneath everything else you're going through right now, and they're illuminated. They kind of catch your eye, just at a glance. And with 15s all around, you would all notice that those tubes are leading towards this central point that you guys are currently walking towards.
Oh, well, that's probably how they get the fart stuff down there.
Is that where they transport the sand?
Possibly.
Oh, no, those are solarium ducts.
They do.
What are they for?
Do you all not... Oh, wait, that's correct. You don't really use that outside the Flagora Desert. It's a type of power we use here. It's very clean and very fuel efficient.
Has no emissions.
Absolutely no
Wait, you
emissions.
use the sun for power?
Yes.
Mm.
Solarium power. It is heat and mana generated directly from sunlight being pushed through crystals.
Okay.
Oh, that wouldn't
Before-
work where I'm from.
It really only works here because we get almost constant sunlight and no cloud coverage.
Not a lot of woods around me.
But yes, the 4 towers on the outside of the temple. Each of them has a crystal on the top.
Channels little energy downwards into the cells, I imagine.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so at this point,
I
you
still
guys are...
don't get it.
It's fine.
Just Bowser who's lived here.
To be fair, it's never something you've had to be particularly involved in.
Yeah. Brimstone just like, I don't know. It's magic.
It's actually... just ... Inside head, it's actually not magic at all. It's just reflected light.
Yeah.
Science.
Anyways, you
Yeah,
guys are
okay,
led
yeah, that's fair
towards
enough.
this central
Yeah.
structure.
Doesn't go bang and move lead. So, Brimstone doesn't care.
Well, no. If it is more of a scientific, then yes, it makes sense. Brimstone is not a magical intelligence.
Actually, Brimstone, this is something you kind of can grasp at a base level, with even though you don't understand it that well yet. It's
Yeah.
never something you've been exposed to, but you can kind of understand the concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So yeah,
It's like,
you all...
That's
how can I turn these crystals into a light cannon?
You joke.
That sounds more of a patent thing than a Brimstone thing.
It would be. Someone else was about to say something?
Yes. Just gonna make the joke. With all the... do you use that light for other purposes, like transferring information?
No. This is purely for power.
I just
Doesn't
want
think
to
of-
say it because I deal with optical equipment.
I understand. We are trying to get something to work where we can make it project images?
Like the crystals.
Yes, like those. It's a piece of lost technology that we don't know exactly how it works. But we're trying to figure it out.
I have a question before we get down into the forge, so I don't look stupid.
Alright.
Hey,
Looks at the
you-
glowing Keta.
It is concentration, so she can drop it at any time.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming she wasn't.
until it runs out. She's holding on to that spell because she's proud of that she cast it. So you work through trade, right?
We do, yes.
Is it just items?
Typically,
Okay.
items and transport mostly.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Why do you ask?
I don't really get to go out to the markets that often at home. I'm usually kept on a tight leash.
Mm,
Not literally, but
no. That would be other people's purview. I slowly look at Failsy, then turn back to Keta.
just I usually don't make a lot of transactions. And then when I got to the port, that was the first time I dealt with my own money.
Oh, well,
Felsi thinks back to how much gold she spent on candy and is like, do you have any gold left?
Yes, I do.
we really only use gold for the sake of bartering with outside forces. It's not that important to us.
What about magical candy?
That's good for you? We know about Bliss's confections. We provide her with quite a few of the materials she uses to make them. I told you this before.
Yeah, I know,
Or
but like,
I remember it being said at least.
have you had the finished product?
Yes. She,
Had the emotion candies?
I know where this is going, and I am fine.
Yeah,
They don't let Felsi have the candy.
What about stuff like jewelry or rare metals?
Jewels we do trade in.
I have a couple of those.
We've gotten some bloodstone from rather far away, as well as some very rare material.
Bloodstone, that is a black stone with red veins, yes?
I've got high quality and low quality.
I will assume that means you answered yes?
Yes.
Okay.
If you'd want an example, just the ring I have on my horn that's got a bloodstone in it, if you wanted to look at it.
I've seen it. It's a material we've seen before. We do quite a bit of trafficking of jewel trade here. We
Fair.
actually are we're actually one of the main providers of diamonds in the region as well. This oasis pushes a lot of water from the underground up. A lot of stones get washed up with it. In reference to how most of the world's diamonds are actually mined. You literally just find them in riverbeds.
Yeah.
Because they just get washed up with groundwater. It's like 80% of the world's diamonds are found. At least the big ones.
Horn jewelry?
You all seem to be expecting to need to barter. If you want to leave gifts, that's fine, but we can help you without needing them.
Yeah, wouldn't
Your
say we're exactly used to that from where we come from.
I mean, that's fair, but you're friends of the family. We're going to help you. At least as much as is reasonable.
Out of curiosity, does Felsi remember if there's anything like a bounty board or a jobs board here?
Yeah, there's sort of one. There's a requisition board that's up in the actual top part of the temple. Basically saying certain materials that are needed for upcoming festivals, if people can go out and gather those specifically. It's not so much like your typical, like, here's a quest, go do this type thing. It's more of a, we need these materials. If you can gather them, that would be good. though occasionally outsiders would take it upon themselves to bring those materials, and they were treated rather nicely for it.
But not, but don't expect like a bag of gold for it, I guess.
It would depend what the material was that was brought forth.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, for more expensive material goods, yes, gold could be provided, but otherwise it would be things like safe passage through the desert or
Services.
services, rare stones, stuff like that.
Okay.
Services and tradable goods, but not necessarily currency itself.
Yeah.
I
Makes
was
sense.
just curious.
Gold and metal is not super important here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Except for one material. But you guys will learn about that soon enough.
Yeah, if we ever get there.
I'm trying. Anyways, is there anything else people want to say before you guys actually get to the forge?
No, I'm good.
Alright. So you get down to the bottom of the structure. It's taken you, as was said, about an hour to get down here, just having to go through various winding points of this massive underground glass hamster cage type structure. There are a few ways to describe it: hamster cage, science laboratory, test tubes, stuff like that. It's the best way to describe it.
Great
A
idea.
lot of interlocking and winding tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
An increasing look into Failsy's sanity.
Yes. Very fair.
Yeah, Fairly designed this.
I pictured the tunnels to be a bit more like a termite mound.
Also, like a termite or an ant mound is also appropriate.
That's true.
Yeah, just the scale of what you guys are experiencing down here is frankly a lot more than you would expect. And you're just wondering how deep this whole structure goes. Or how much further it could go, considering even now that you're at the bottom of it, you still see nothing but water below you. But yeah. The structure that is directly before you, though, is probably the largest room that you have seen thus far. Except for it's comparable in size to the audience chamber where you met Jamel's mother, Lady Voltolia. But yes, it's comparable in size to that one. Fairly large, but rather than being like a bell shape where it's narrow at one point and then widens out, this is actually like some almost acorn that's sitting on its top shape, where it's just a massive dome with a flat bottom, and you guys are just entering through one of 4 tunnels that lead into it. And oddly enough,
this place is.
yeah, it's very large. Oddly enough, the outside of this dome is made of entirely blackened glass. Yes, you are currently standing at the doorway to this. Jamel pushes the door open and allows you all to step inside. You all feel a rush of heated air push past you. The door is opened. Well, after you all.
Alrighty then.
Alright. So you all step inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alright. What you see inside is first off, those of you who are looking straight forward as you enter the room, it is what you would expect of a glass kiln and furnace setup. There are many of these UNT workers racing about with these long metallic tubes that are currently being used to pull from pools of molten glass of various colors, and you see them blowing air into them to form these domes and structures, placing them into different molds to make them shape into different things. That's all well and good, but the big thing you all would notice pushing less pushing forward and more just looking ahead, is that towards the very center of this room, you see these 4 distinct beams of light coming in through the ceiling, hitting a singular crystal in the center of the ceiling, almost hanging down somewhat like a chandelier type structure, and it focusing all 4 of those beams directly downwards into a single point, where you can see there's essentially just a, almost looks a bit like an anvil, but this, you don't recognize the material per se, but just this blackened piece of stone-like material that is just plinth out of the ground. That is on the single point there is a glowing red radiating spot. And despite all the kilns in this room, that single point seems to be where most of the heat in this room is coming from.
Tracked it out. The focus was on that one. Huh.
Yeah. But currently there are probably about 8 individual workers making different things inside here. Even as you guys push open the door, none of them actually seem to take notice of your entry, as they all seem very busy with their work. Just a constant blur of movement, as it doesn't seem like any of them are being given a chance to stop and do anything other than work while this material is still hot. So, what are you all doing in this moment?
Just kind of admiring.
Fuzzy sort of drifted off and is watching someone bash glass or work with glass.
Oddly enough, there are actually portions of this which one of the workers is literally taking what they have deemed to be failures and is literally just shattering them, like by repeatedly hitting them with a hammer and chisel.
And then I smash it with a hammer.
Yeah. Which is interesting, and if you would notice that, it's just like, this glass does not just shatter from a blunt force impact. There is a specific tool that is being used to break it.
So it's basically as hard as a Prince Albert's drop?
Prince Rupert's drop, but yes.
Prince Albert is something entirely different.
Yes. I've
made that mistake too. I always think Prince Albert because the tobacco and the stupid joke. But yeah.
And the tie.
Yeah, Prince Rupert.
Yeah, Tervinche is probably the only one outside of Failsy who has any idea what's going on here.
Yeah.
Considering he's had some work with glass before.
Yeah, Burbson has seen a forge, but not one that works exclusively with glass. So it's just like, huh.
Yeah. Yeah, Da Vinci would have drifted off to where some of the more finer detail work is being done to just observe.
Yeah, so you'd probably just push forward a bit past the people making these singular glass structures, which a lot of them seem to be almost like they're very ornamental vases or pots and things of that like stuff that you've actually seen scattered around the temple and your various locations you've been to. Because pretty much everything in this temple, at least in this under part of the temple, is made of glass. It's a very strange look. Very alien, very clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you walk past someone who is currently basically has placed a gigantic blob of glass onto a surface, pulls it out, and you see them reach down with their hands, grip the glass, and start forming it into a table leg.
Just thinking to self, very heat-resistant hands there.
Yeah. I say bare hands, they are wearing gloves.
Okay.
Yeah, bare hands would be impressive.
They're not quite that level. But you push further beyond the people making like this ornamental type things, like furniture type structures, and you push beyond that and towards the further backward, you actually get to the point where people are making weaponry or they're making armor. You see, rather than just this pulling the material into a shape or putting it into a mold to get certain shapes, they're taking already cooled slabs of this glass. And just with these very tiny, fine tools, chipping away at it to make very impressive designs. Almost how you'd flake an arrowhead off or flake obsidian to make a blade. It's that type of process, but on a tiny, minute scale. They seem to probably be the only people you'd want to stop because their material isn't actively cooling on them.
Gonna stop them.
You said Keta's gonna stop them?
Da Vinci is first just going to kind of observe the technique for a bit.
Alright. Do you have jeweler's tools as a proficiency in your character sheet?
I do.
Make a check of that for me, just to basically make your general observation ability and your general knowledge of what's going on.
Intelligence or wisdom?
I would say this would probably be based off of intelligence. Because this is more of a knowledge of the craft than your perception of how it's being done. Like, you're watching, but you're not really being made to watch super carefully because they're not trying to hide it.
Mm-hmm. So that'd be a 14.
14's not bad at all. Yeah.
Middle of the road for Da Vinci there.
Yeah. The closest thing you could equate this process to that you've seen before is almost like metal engraving. Just like the very small hammer and chisel being used to carve out channels in a material. Though the notion of this being done with glass is so foreign to you. Because the glass you're used to, if you hit it with a hammer and a chisel, it would shatter. This is just, there are just tiny little chips of it coming off at a time. And the material that their hammer and chisel is made out of is familiar to you. Because you've recently acquired a set of jeweler's tools made of this.
Oh.
They're using primum tools?
Yes. The metal structures you see in this room are made of primum. It's the one material that's valuable to this place, because it's one of the only refined materials that can actually be used to deal with the temperatures they are working at.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just going to lean over to Gemel and ask her who would be suitable to help us with requests.
Well, any of them would be suitable. Probably the engravers would be the one most willing to stop their work at the moment. Otherwise, either the engravers or the breakers.
If I was just asking in case there was like a form something that would be pissed at their workers not doing work.
No. The chief of the glass forge is not in right now. Yes.
It's probably gonna go to ones that look like they're not like busy actually working the glass, but like the ones that are kind of chipping away.
Right. Failsy, just for your information, because it's something you would know, the actual main person who is in charge of the Crystallum is one of the high priestesses. The Will of the Stars.
Could I get that written?
Give me 1 second, I'll type it out.
Yeah, just so I can add it to my growing
list of names. Drawing lists of proper nouns.
Gotta make sure your proper nouns are in order. This was also something I had to get the information back for.
Yeah.
Lord of the Stars is the Forge Master.
Master of the Crystallum or the Glass Forge.
Yeah, that's what she said. Just
Just added that to my information about the Crystallum.
All right. Yeah, you know that she is in charge of the Crystallum.
Does Felzy know Yeeze's temperament? Like, is it someone that Felzy would have had to avoid a lot? Easily offended or
Definitely not as much as you've had to avoid Izza. Yes, I realize their names are similar.
For a second, I thought their names were the same thing.
Technically, the other one, his name is Isa, but it's weird to pronounce while I'm trying to do accents back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Isa, Eye of the Moon, is definitely a bit more temperamental. Because she's very much things should go my way because I'm the one who sees the future type person.
Back to the Future.
Yeza is more... She's certainly more laid back, but she is also very strict. Like, she has a very cool temperament, but if you do not follow her rules in her domain, then get out. Because this is a... Working the Crystallum is considered kind of a holy practice for the temple. Because it's the direct light of sorry, my brain is burning out for right now. It's basically the light that is being brought through with how radiance is treated as such a divine object to the temple. The actual work of the Crystallum is considered a divine task.
Makes sense.
Even when they're just making furniture.
It's holy furniture.
It's going in a temple. It better be holy.
Yeah, that's very true.
All right.
Is there like anybody? I guess it is glass, so they probably wouldn't necessarily like smith it. But like, is there anybody like making like armor or weapons, or does it seem to be most of?
That's what Dravince is currently observing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where Dravince is where they're doing the more fine detail stuff, like crafting it into precise items.
Okay.
And he's just enamored, with the technique they're using.
Yeah, specifically what you're looking at right now, Dravince, is what you're observing is this craftsman is actually in sequence making glass chainmail.
Oh.
yeah. Dravince or Brimstone launches over to Dravince and just. So what? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do occasionally see them lift up the entire piece of chainmail that they are working on, and there are certain sections where they are very closely observing it, and you realize when they actually have notice of mistake and they go back and fix it, it's because each piece of this chainmail was originally, like each ring of it was originally a single block of glass. And they go back and they chip apart 2 rings that didn't quite separate the first time going through. And they lift it up again, and it's just a completely fluid mass of rings.
Oh, wow.
Why do I picture just like Dravince sit at the edge of the table, drooling, watching the work, and then Brimstone's just like, hey, what's this? Sees that it's chainmail, and joins him in the drooling.
Yes. Huh.
Admire the craftsmanship. Yeah.
Are there like any engravers working on like I guess arrows or javelins or anything of that matter, or is it mostly?
Yeah, there's a weaponsmith, an armor smith, 4 people working on general products for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me make sure I'm saying this right in my note. Yeah, there's 4 workers that are making general products for the temple. There is a weapons. There are 2 weaponsmiths, 1 armor smith, and then the breaker.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I get the feeling that the UNT would be the most likely to make lasers first.
They pretty much already have.
You look up at the central
Yeah.
structure in the middle of the room.
Yeah, that's what the free
I mean, laser
beam
guns.
of the
like,
crystal. Oh, I mean,
you look at Brimstone's and
You
Fail's
basi-
pistol. and
you
then
basically just
someone's
reduce down the whole process they have for the crystallum into a very small thing, and you basically have that. Yes,
So
they basically have a laser cannon, but they're using it to make pretty things.
and
And
ketchup.
again-
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna make the joke of, and again with the talk of it being environmentally friendly, eco-friendly death right in your hand.
Yeah,
Mhm.
doesn't make no pollution. Anyways, Andy.
When Kenta's approaching, she's gonna have the 2 vials of glass in her hand, just ready.
The 2 vials of sand, you mean?
Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Wow. it
Of pre-glass.
is glass.
mean,
but there's
kinda. Who are you approaching?
one of the ones that looks like they're kind of chipping away. Not like busy doing something.
All right,
So-
so that would either be one of the 2 weaponsmiths. Wait, no, I'm dumb. There's 2 armor smiths, 1 weaponsmith.
Yeah,
I
And
was wondering about that.
and then the breaker.
And the general purpose people.
Well, those are the general. Or are those not the general? Oh no.
The
Never mind.
general craftsmen are like centered around. You notice they are also directly under each of these tunnels that are funneling light into the center of room. You notice that there is a small section of that light being funneled off into each of their forges.
Mhm.
Like 1/8 of the light that's traveling from each of these 4 tunnels is going
Mhm.
down into their forges, while the rest of it's going into the center crystal. To give you an idea of how much energy is going into
Yeah.
that center point.
Yeah, just noticing that. That's a lot of power.
If
what
need
that-
be,
What that thing in the center's for.
Kat would probably ask Jamel just to point her to one that she should go to, and that she's not going to, interrupt and be rude.
The one you would probably want to talk to is at least someone who can be interrupted right now. Would probably be the breaker.
Okay, so Kat will go where she is pointed.
I mean, it's not hard to notice them. They're actually put more center in this room, next to, not quite on the center pedestal where this weird anvil type structure is, but next to it where there's just a large crate of broken glass.
So Kat will approach.
This UNT actually appears to be a pure blood, which is a bit uncommon this deep in the temple, but
The
Not
humanoid versions of UNT.
yeah. You see them lift a pair of goggles off their head and set their work to the side and turn toward you.
Hi.
Oh. Hello.
I don't mean to fully interrupt, but I wanted to see if you could make something for me, and she's going to produce out the 2 vials.
All right. 2 small vials of Thagora sands. What particularly did you want made? Hope it's
just
nothing too big.
Oh no, it's just 2 small heart pendants, one in each color.
Yeah, I'll put that on the list for the general craftsmen. They should be able to get that done pretty easily.
Yeah.
Not a problem. You see him walk over towards a not exactly big list of tasks that have been written on a wall on a piece of slate that's on the wall.
Mm.
Almost the best way to equate it is it looks like a chalkboard. There is a checked off list of different items that have to be made, and yours 2 heart pendants, and he sets them in a little crate that's not too far off, like the 2 vials of sand in a little crate. That's probably the 4th item down on the list right now.
It is too shy to ask for anything else, so she's going to immediately like, all right, I can go. And immediately just gotta go back to like Failsy and Jamel and be like, I did it.
Good job. Jamel just
Somebody-
pats you on the head.
Yeah, so that's good because she's too shy to ask for jewelry
I mean, you did ask for jewelry.
for
It's not for
herself.
yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if you specified who those were for when you were giving them to the breakers, so I just okay.
He was just
Then
like,
again-
you want these made? Okay, we'll get them back to you.
does plans. That's right.
You more or less saw that he looked up, saw that Jamel was there, was just like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
just
Just like, no
Who?
questions asked.
yeah. Who? Oh, okay.
It's actually a
Who?
look you guys have gotten pretty commonly around the temple, is that people see that Jamel is with you and they just don't question you.
yeah. They see us and just who? See Jamel. Okay. Go back to whatever they're doing.
More or less.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Filzy?
Does Felzy know what the material is they're using as tools? Like, does Felzy know the value of primum?
I mean, you know that's very valuable to the temple specifically because of how useful it is. It's the only metal that is honestly viewed as useful to the temple. Because it's the only one worth the potential of chipping the glass structures that the temple is made out of.
I was just wondering if Felzy knew that, since she doesn't come down towards the
I mean-
Crystallum that much.
You know that it's a very important material to them, but because you don't have many dealings with them, and because primum in of itself more or less just looks like a slightly duller colored gold, you've always just kind of assumed that it was gold, and you never particularly pursued that bit of knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because otherwise Felzy would have jumped all over those spiders and grabbed more. So
Yeah.
we want all of it. All of it.
Yeah, it's only now that you've actually seen primum tools with Jarvince's jeweler's kit that's been made,
hmm
and seeing it compared to the tools they are using here, that you suddenly realize that, oh, that's the same material.
Now that you've
How
seen
far
it
do we
elsewhere and
think-
had it identified.
It's like, okay, we're going back to Kingfisher Island. We're going to go murder a lot more spiders.
It's so funny because in other versions of this campaign I've run, people didn't even bother taking that material at all, and they never found out about it. How important it is material to this world.
Was that also what the porcelain? Was that also what the armor plating was? Was primum?
No, that was made of porcelain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just okay. Yeah. So we never identified if it was just magical in origin then.
You haven't
Why
had
else it
time to
was-
do so yet.
Yeah. Okay. It's just because I have it in there, and it's just like, did we identify that or no? But okay.
I
Sorry,
mean,
go
So
you-
just tapping the top of her, the block that is her boat.
Just like.
Just like, there's so much value inside here.
You have to get back to the surface and drop this in the lake.
Um,
I'll probably take
Or-
the boat tomorrow.
or
Vente, you should probably stop staring.
I'm sorry, I found myself lost in there.
Look, you don't see glass chainmail that often.
And the craftsmanship.
thank you, says the person actually working on it.
What?
Awkward.
What's the weaponsmith working on at the moment?
Currently they appear to be making spearheads. One of them is, the weaponsmith is making spearheads right now.
Okay.
Since the gold.
Just kind of migrate that way.
Scoot, 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 scoot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Trying to think of what would be requested?
Well,
You okay?
yeah, I think it was just a stretch.
No, I moved my legs to like up underneath myself so I could put my laptop on top of them. I kicked myself in the testicles.
Oh!
The first sound, I thought it was a cat. Sounded like the start of like a cat yowl. That makes sense now, though.
Oh.
Why would you do that?
Because I usually put my laptop on top of my feet when I'm sitting on my bed, so it's not like rocking around on my bed, or it doesn't get super hot against cloth. It's just like when I put my feet up, but when I put like my legs to where I could set my laptop on my feet, I push my legs too far back and need both of, or not need, but heel down on both of my testicles simultaneously.
Ugh.
Oh, that sucked.
Well, there goes your PG rating.
Critical hit.
There are worse things that have been done in this to get rid of the PG rating.
Critical hit.
Definitely
Yeah.
a critical hit regardless.
Rolled a nat 1 on that.
That's the worst acrobatics check. Alright,
Now,
but you're migrating towards the weaponsmith. Yeah.
yeah.
Rose is gonna break the ice on the quest then. She's realized the value of shoes. Traveling around and picking up every bloody rock on every road.
Chelsea's just gonna become a hoarder.
And going to ask for some boots.
Alright. Are you asking from one of the armor smiths or from just one of the general crafters?
She's going to assume that armor smiths would be the one that deal with wearable glass.
You know that there's a lot of glass material used in just general wear here as well.
Hmm.
The armor smiths specifically work with thicker glass that is used to protect yourself.
Yeah, Fauzi thinks of where she's going. It's like, yeah, I'm going to need some thick boots to kick ass with.
Fair enough.
Hopefully
These
she
boots
can get
are
boots
made
that-
for walking. They'll
Hopefully she
walk
can get some
over
boots
you.
that aren't considered like heavy armor or something.
I will say, it's very hard for a material that's made of this. This glass is fairly lightweight compared to what you would typically expect. So it's fairly easy to not get heavy armor from this stuff.
I mean, I know, I just mean like count as armor in general.
Fair enough.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. You don't want armor, you just want shoes. I get
I
the
don't
meta.
want anybody else asking, but just eventually before they leave, Katya will probably get up the bravery task for horn ring, but like it has to be a small horn ring because her horns are nubby.
The tiniest of horn rings.
They're very like kind of short and stubby, and she wants to feel pretty too.
Fair enough. All right, but before that, you guys had other questions and requests to make, since that happens at the end.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry.
You continue.
Something that either Fauzi would already know she's going to ask Gemel is there a way up the stuff, the armored stuff that they make, is it enchanted?
Not normally. That's a process specifically done by Yessa.
Ah.
They make the baseline product and then Yessa purifies it in radiance.
Fauzi's considering like maybe doing. Fauzi leans over to Dravinci and whispers, "Maybe we can make it their while and get everyone something if we give them the gold spider."
I I was kind of thinking that.
Yeah, Brimstone, look up, look over. Oh yeah.
By the way,
Just-
Brimstone, whenever you actually start observing the weaponsmith, he does actually sort of, or one of them does actually, yeah, he does. Sorry. A lot of NPCs in this room.
Yeah.
He actually does okay, brain. One sentence at a time. You only need one. Don't need...
You don't need to be thinking so quickly, Ash.
There's a lot going on. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
And I need myself in the balls. Still getting over that. It hurts.
Yeah. That's definitely
It's a pain. But yeah, when you actually go over to start observing him, he does actually turn towards you and start showing you the finer points of what he's working on.
yeah, just leaning in. Not really having a comparative for like how glasswork would work with this, but being proficient in Smith's tools would have a decent idea of how to do it with metal. So it's just the differences is interesting to Brimstone of just,
Yeah, the only thing that you notice that is very specifically like you recognize this from smithing is that there is a large rotating sanding belt that he is occasionally using to polish the edges of what he's working on.
grind out the burrs.
Less grind out the burrs and more just like make it more consistent. Because glasswork doesn't exactly leave burrs.
That's fair, yeah.
And you know for a fact that you've seen some glass arrowheads and stuff before, or just crystal arrowheads in general. It's not necessary, but it's purely to make it look better.
Right.
Because that edge is still sharp as can be with just the fractured edge. But these people have gone beyond pure function and are now to the point of also desiring form.
Form, yeah. Just, and the wheels start turning, even though I know that it might work actually.
Also, whenever you get close to him working on one of those wheels, he makes you put on a mask and goggles.
Yeah, no.
Because you don't want to breathe in glass dust.
No, that glass dust.
Yeah, no. Brimstone would definitely comply when asked on that. Just all right.
Just like you can't stand over here without putting these on.
Understood. Mask, goggles, observing. Yeah.
Is Brimstone thinking of glass tip bullets?
Oh, fuck yeah, I am.
Lol.
That wouldn't work the way you're
Glass
probably thinking it
pellet
would in this
bullets?
world.
Oh, I know it wouldn't.
Filled with weird shit.
Would it be akin to armor-piercing bullets in that case?
Well,
Honestly, probably
yeah,
closer to that, yeah.
Yeah, I know. The glass is solid. It's not going to shatter. I know. It's just, I wonder what I could do with these with my little guns. Little, the giant rifle on his back.
Yep.
Just
All right, so Failsy, you'd go over to one of the armor smiths and talk with them for a little bit. Probably actually the one working on the chainmail, because they seem to be willing to take a break for a moment and rest their eyes from working on that incredibly meticulous process.
kidding.
You mentioned wanting boots, and they seem perfectly willing to make them for you.
Boots and... here's a question.
Yes?
My friends probably have a lot of requests. Perhaps stuff that are a little bit beyond in the magical realm.
So, request for Mistress Yeza.
Perhaps.
We'd have to summon her, but I'm sure it can be done.
I was wondering if... I'm sure it would take a lot of resources and time to help me and my friends. Perhaps we can help out with a trade of primum.
The eyes light up a little bit, even inside the goggles.
And Dravince behind Failsy just pulls out one of the few small gears he carries on him. Here we have proof.
This armor smith, she holds her hand out, just like, may I inspect it?
He places it in their hand.
Does Felzy actually carry any primum on?
Looks at the dog next to you.
Oh, there's that, but she's not going to give them
Them that. Yeah. We need him.
Alright.
He's a good boy.
She actually sets down her tools and picks up a small, what almost kind of looks like one of the jeweler magnifying glasses you have seen before, Dravince.
I actually know what that item's called. It's called an eye ring.
Yeah, I know they have actual names. I was just trying to say it for the sake of anyone who might be watching and not know the term.
Yeah, sake of clarification. Layman's terms.
Yes. Yes. So she pulls out the eye ring and just very closely examines the material of the gear. Interesting. That does appear to be primum, alright. Though in odd form, where'd you get something in the shape of a cog?
We encountered some interesting opponents during our travels.
Opponents made of primum?
Felzy
Yes.
the head of her faithful hound.
Like that one.
Do bear in mind, Fenris is mostly covered in that porcelain armor.
Mm.
The inner workings of Fenris is also primum.
Just a slow curl of like intense interest on this worker's face.
But
Curious.
while he's not for offer, we do have another.
Alright. And
Larger.
We actually have half a mechanical and a dismantled spider.
do you only have half of that spider? I thought you had the whole spider.
No,
We
no.
have the whole one.
We have a second wolf that was delimbed for Fenris.
Right,
Yeah.
we have half a wolf.
Yeah, half a wolf and a whole spider.
But you still have a whole wolf. Part of it's just flat.
Ah, yeah, that's
Broken.
fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
So yeah, mechanical wolf damaged.
And damaged or not, that means nothing to us. It's just the material we're after.
So, do you think that would be a trade that'd be worth a fair bit?
I mean, of course. That would certainly be a trade worth quite a bit. Ignoring the fact that Jamel said you didn't have to trade for anything before.
This is more to make them more affable for
Magical workings.
yeah,
Fair enough.
like more useful stuff than
Like-
ornamental.
Like
enough.
potential magic armors, magic weapons, stuff like that.
How much of this material would you say you have?
Felzy picks up the block and shakes it a bit, like trying to remember how big that spider was.
Remind me, which spider was it you guys took? Was it the really
I
big one, or was it one of the smaller ones?
I think
It was one of the smaller ones
Yeah,
because
so it
we
was a
couldn't
large.
carry the big one.
It is
we just-
way too heavy.
We just tore the cog out of the giant.
Yeah.
We took the small one
So-
because we thought we could make a tank out of it.
Fair. I mean, one of the small of those creatures, though this is not accounting for how much of the material is primum and how much of it is other materials,
No, that's true.
probably weighs at least 500 to 600 pounds.
Right, we had Lee's help.
Yeah, at least the only reason you guys really were able to move that stuff. the wolves probably weigh a good 100 pounds at least.
We have about 100 pounds in wolf, and conservative guess. What was it, about 500 pounds for the big spider?
Probably pushing more towards 600.
Big spider was about 600, so maybe half that is primer. The rest was this.
Okay.
The rest of it, I think, was a hard porcelain material I don't know much about.
Brimstone does still have his.
And so does Da Vinci just kind of pull it out. Some of this material.
Lee is carrying his gigantic shield made of the material
That's
as well.
true too. Yeah.
And also Fenris is covered in it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, but here's detached piece for closer inspection.
fair enough.
That's true.
I don't know what this material is other than porcelain.
Yeah.
Maybe it has an extra compound inside of it that makes it incredibly hard? Or maybe
Wow,
it's
it's
purely
tough to get
ornamental.
through.
I'm just trying to make a rough guess on how much of the spider was this porcelain material and the rest of it was primer.
The porcelain pieces of this armor are not nearly as heavy as the pieces of primum you found.
That was just making a rough guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because it's
Well, we can-
it's a ceramic. It's not super heavy.
That's why she said it was a conservative guess.
We can measure it out when we pull everything. When we pull everything out of the ship.
Yes, I would be very interested.
This is
That
a
is
floating boat,
a
so-
lot of material.
Felzy just sort of tumbles the boat in her hands. He's like, I'm gonna need to put this in the lake upstairs.
Okay.
Stuff out.
You can go put the wooden box in the lake upstairs. That's fine.
It's a folding boat.
Do you just want to be given access to the water outside?
Well, we would have to.
That's the only place it would really work.
I meant
It's a
direct
sh-
access from this room. Or
It
do you just
won't
want to
work that
walk
way.
up?
It's like she thinks for a moment. It's like if she puts it out there, it'll probably be sinking ship and then become mom's plaything.
I mean, it's gonna become mom's plaything no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes, but we like to try to keep it not completely submerged.
Oh wait, several of you are not also UNT.
Yeah.
Hi.
Probably do not know how to swim very well.
Almost drowned once.
That's a hard no. Well, if you can retrieve that material, we can certainly send workers to go up and retrieve it. To get it as well. She's a bit out of breath right now, just like that's a lot of stuff.
It's like we're
She's
lucky
making
to
the
get
same
even. Sorry.
I was gonna say she's making like the same salivating face that you guys were just making while watching her work. At the idea of getting that much of that material.
I'm just picturing it's like to equate it to diamonds. Used to be getting like 1, maybe 2 diamonds a month. Suddenly, an entire mine's worth just poured right out in front of you.
Yeah, bear in mind, primum is a material that previously they found maybe 10 pounds of a year.
Just adding things to Fel's goal list. Find primer.
So
For sure.
you guys are offering her at least like
Half a century's worth.
250
Yeah.
pounds of this material.
Yeah.
So she's just like, okay.
Yeah. What?
So it's like, well, You think we can get anything we request at this point?
It may take time, but if we tell Yeza of this and you are being forthright and truthful, which I am assuming since Jamel is with you that you are doing so, Jamel just sort of nods. It's like, I trust him.
It's like, yes, I totally lied to my wife.
my
Fezzi,
wife,
we
the heiress
trust your
of this
wife,
temple.
not you. You
Yeah,
are
that's
known
probably
for
fair.
getting into a lot of things.
Yes, I got into this primum.
Yes.
You know, you're not
Also that.
wrong.
She answers very quickly to stories.
Yep. Alright. So yeah, I'm guessing you all are going to... Or are you wanting to stay down here for a little bit, or do you want to head up top and immediately retrieve that material?
Sorry, you go.
Sorry, just continue sticking down here for a bit, because I still have something to say.
Yeah.
And because we've at least proven we have primum.
Yeah.
We say we've got a lot of it, which we can't prove, but we have proof of primum. So they're already interested.
Having even one of those gears, which is still fairly heavy, just that
Yeah.
single gear probably weighs about a pound.
Yes, that's already 1/10 of their year's worth.
I mean, you assume they get the entire supply of a year's worth of primum.
Yeah,
This temple has been around a long time.
that's fair.
And,
But yeah,
and
then
you
it
just
probably
have
doesn't-
to
Faz is just gonna sort of pat Provincia on the shoulder and go, "Alright, then you guys can make your requests. And I am going to go play with the boat." She says as she wanders out.
Just
It's just
as
opening a boat. She doesn't need an entourage for that.
a note, Ash.
Failsy, you're actually going to just be taken by Jamel through the water, so you get there much faster.
She heads for the door, gets right by Tails, like, "Okay, we're going this way."
Time to swim. Yuan Ti can swim very quickly in this world.
Just as a note, just so I don't forget, and you don't forget, Ash, but probably gonna have to remind you. Instead of a horn ring, Keta would like to get
You'd like to get what?
pair of goggles.
Oh, a pair of goggles.
Before we get both, just come back.
It's
You end up going back to Brain and just full punk.
full punk.
practical for Keta to have those instead of just the horn jewel. And
Fair
no,
enough.
that's what she'd like to ask for.
That's easy enough.
Imagine. Just wanted to put it out there so I don't forget.
Alrighty then. It's an easy enough request to put in and have answered.
I'm good then. I don't need anything else.
Since already talking to the armor smith. Now, I've been trained in a practice that I've just recently learned that was invented here, the manner of weaving spell through dance.
Oh, yes, we've heard of such. The practice is not unknown to us, though personally I'm not a practitioner.
I'm curious if you have any specific equipment
Yes, we have made things such as skirts of beads or enchanted jewelry to help aid in one's spell dancing, or at least help provide one an extra bit of alluring aura to make it harder to target them. Would that be something you would be interested in?
Very much so. I also have my focus that my teacher taught me how to make it, but I'm wondering if there's ways that you who started the practice, if you know how to improve it.
Alright, what would your focus be?
He just points to the gold, basically the golden plate on the back of that he has on his hand that he originally made. This is what I'm currently using.
Alright, so it's a bit of magically enhanced jewelry, I would assume, or simply like a arcane focus?
Magic enhanced jewelry.
Alright, we could certainly do that, or at least, Madame Yeza can.
Is it possible for you to modify my current one?
Well, we could certainly help you create an inlay to go onto it. An extra bit of jewel or crystal to enforce it with a bit more magic. What exactly would you be looking for?
That would work quite well. I would love an opportunity to work with skilled craftsmen like you.
Well, when someone is providing us this much raw material, we are very willing to work. Honestly, just between you and me, now that certain leading parties of our place are not in earshot, noting that Jamel is no longer in the room, nor is Felzy, we would personally like to be able to share our craft more with the world, but it is kept secret. For good reason, but it is kept secret.
Yes, I know that feeling all too well.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
Brimstone with the gun. Just, I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Well, might I also request maybe a weapon to go along with this?
Oh,
A new
yes,
blade?
of course. Weapons are easy.
And,
She's also looking at the rest of you guys to see if there's anything other people are going to be saying. And at this point, several of the other forge workers have kind of like stopped what they were doing.
And they're just kind of congregating.
Well, they heard someone mention premium being used for trade. They were like, "Oh," and then they heard, "Wait, 250 pounds," and they were just like, "What?"
It's just like meerkats popping out of the hole, just I'll just turn toward Da Vinci and Palsy.
Generally, the group.
Yeah.
Where previously they were kind of ignoring you guys.
And may I have, oh, you've got some lovely jewelry that you make here. A headdress piece?
Like a tiara, or more like a veil, or what would you be looking for?
More like a veil.
Alright.
Da Vinci just getting all of the jewelry.
A veil of jewels, easy enough.
Da Vinci is just getting flashy.
He's going to be very flashy when you guys leave. That may or may not affect things going forward.
Yeah, I know.
He steps out into the sun and turns into a disco ball.
Yes. You guys go to
steps out
bed
in the
at
sun.
You guys are camping at the night. Javince's on watch. Meanwhile, everyone else is just like, Javince, take your clothes off. You're blinding us.
My
Dravinche
clothes
steps
are
out.
already off.
Dravinche steps out into the sun. Everybody make a Constitution save.
But that's it. Just like what he mentioned at first, modification to the arcane focus sword and fancy jewelry.
All right. Doable. Easy enough. Not sure if you want it all being magic, but we'll see how it goes going forward.
Yeah.
All being magic would be wonderful, but I'm not going to push my luck.
I mean, it's less pushing your luck and more seeing how long you guys are willing to wait,
Mm-hmm.
considering you might have a pressing task. But
Yeah, just a bit.
What about the rest of you? I'm just gonna go down the list from Dravince. Well, technically, I'm gonna go up first because Andy is right next to Dravince, and going down the list would mean she'd be skipped at the end.
Yeah.
So, Andy,
Uh,
anything else Keta would be trying to get?
The goggles and the pendant. I don't know if they could particularly make modifications to her guitar.
Aside from making accessories to go on it, probably not.
She'd probably then just maybe ask for like a very nice something that could fit Lee's wrist. It's not like it's gonna slip off or anything like that, but just like a nice simple bracelet.
Like a bangle?
Kinda.
Bob's gonna wear light armor, can't he?
Yeah, but Lee doesn't wear any armor.
Yeah.
I mean, Keto.
Oh.
Keta
Yeah,
has studded
whatever.
leather.
But yeah, but it could be pretty studded leather.
I mean, it's already pretty. It has leather designs on it.
But is it glass armor?
yeah. Yeah, but it could have pretty glass studs as well as pretty glitter.
All right.
Keta's mindset is if that breaks, then that goes into me.
That's right.
So yeah, she probably just asked for like a bracelet, but probably like making sure that he's not like staring or like around her, so she can like maybe do it in a little bit of secret.
Lee's just sort of like standing in the middle of the room, just being
Awkward.
just sweating.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because he's not like any of us who are used to heat.
He's in a hot, dry climate. He's
poor boy.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. He's sweating because it's hot, and he's also sweating because he's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Before she'd ask for the bracelet, she'd kind of tell Lee just to like maybe go relax, not be sweating up a storm. I'll be fine.
Okay.
And outside in the hall.
They can just let Lee out. Lee out through the swimming entrance.
You joke, but you see.
No,
you,
I figured.
You say that, and you see him walking towards where Jamel just basically jumped out of the tube.
Yeah, just and Lee's going swimming. Yeah, fits him.
I can't stop him.
And
I
you
mean,
can't
boys-
see him outside this space because this dome is completely black.
Yeah.
But
Boy ain't had to swim for a while. Good.
No one sees Lee disappear into the clutches of Elhan.
Yeah,
This is mine now.
this is mine now. Until Keta asks for him back, and she's like, okay.
Also, Madame Elway's gone.
let's
Wait.
figure she's probably
Looks at a fishbowl. Oh, she's gone.
Yeah, is the fishbowl there or just no?
The fishbowl's there. It's empty.
Oh no.
Oh, it is.
Did Madame Elway hop out into the water?
Maybe.
I don't know if that's a bad thing or not.
But Keta would actually then ask to have some of the, because she picked up like some seashells, so she'd asked if they could put like the seashells on the bracelet.
We can try, though I'm not certain if that will survive the heat.
As long as you try, that's all that matters to me.
Alright. Worst comes to worst, we could crush this and use it as a pigment.
It'd be cool then.
Good point.
Too particularly picky. It's just she wants to make sure it's actually going to fit his big wrist.
Yeah, they could do that. They saw Lee. He's a big boy. Shouldn't be too hard.
But besides the goggles and that, I'm good.
All right. By the way, please type out all of your requests in the actual game chat or in the Discord, just so I have them as a list, because I'm gonna have to make rules for them.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, that is me.
All right. Next would be. By the way, after we ask everyone what they want and everything, we're going on break.
Cool.
All right. So next would be Munagon.
She doesn't have any crafting requests per se because she doesn't actually really have need of anything at the moment.
Fair enough.
She's just... She'd ask just for the sake of, maybe they do know, but she just wants to know if there's, any meditation rooms.
Down here, no, but there are rooms for the sake of meditation in the temple.
Alright, it's just... I need to do some thinking.
You okay?
Yeah, it just has to do with some things I found in the archives.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it in a little bit. Okay, that's all I needed. She just wants to know where she can find a meditation room.
All right. And this is a temple, so it's really not too hard to find a quiet room where no one will bother you so you can think.
Perfect.
It's about what 40% of this place is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
40% is quiet rooms where you can think, 30% is places where you don't go unless you're invited, and the other place is public.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which pretty much accounts for most. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Failsy, if you wanted anything, you'd be able to tell it to Jamel, and she'd be able to relay it pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm just writing it out.
Yep. You said you were writing it? Okay, yeah, you're typing. And you guys can actually think of specific magical effects you'd like.
Yeah.
So think about
trust
that
me.
too.
Yeah.
That's what I've been thinking of.
And then we come to Mythosia. Or rather, Brimstone.
Yeah. So
Laser light cannon.
no, not quite yet. They would probably be like, "Fuck no, get out." Yeah, that's fair.
Somebody just
So-
turn around and go, yes, here, have it.
Right. Failsy just no. I want to see what happens.
All right.
But so the first thing that I'd like is some different colors of glass bullets. Because it's the rainbow desert, so it's just every color of the rainbow is glass, yeah?
More or less.
Okay.
They can technically make any color of glass.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'll give you specific amounts and what I might want for them later, Ash.
All right.
And then I want to build the scope, and what I want them to help me with is essentially multiple colors of lenses that are used to block out certain light colors, essentially. So if somebody's hiding in a bunch of greenery, switch to the green one and you can see them through it. It doesn't really work quite that way, but it kind of highlights them a little more in contrast.
As long as they are not wearing green.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're basically just light filtration lenses.
Yeah.
for
I know
the
those.
scope.
So you want multicolored lenses that can be exchanged out at a moment's notice.
Yeah,
In a
pretty much.
small metal tube that can be affixed to that device on your back.
Yeah, pretty much.
That shouldn't be too hard to do.
What
We
I've been
actually
hoping.
have to make lenses fairly often to make the focusing lens that goes for the solarium generator.
That's actually perfect. Something that'll actually help me, see further.
We've never thought about looking through them, but I guess it makes sense in principle.
I mean,
Wait, you'd be talking to the weaponsmith. That's a dude.
so all that, but in a more masculine voice.
Yes. A lot of
then-
NPCs standing in a lot of places in this room.
Yeah. And then shit. I had it and then I lost it.
Do you need to think about it for a bit?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'll make sure to write it down later.
All right. Type it out as a list so we have
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, bio break.
Yeah.
Break.
All right, back in 5 to 10, peoples.
Need more water.
Empty your bladders and get the materials for which to use to refuel them.
Reloading my bladder.
All I have is a thought that when we walk back out into the hallway, we're just gonna see like 4 different forms in the water. I like smaller forms. Form overhead. I like when you go to like an aquarium and they have that like tunnel you go through, and then you just have the big shark pass overhead, and you're like, oh god.
The big shark pass overhead, except for in this context, it's 2 giant pairs of boobs.
You know what makes me think is if Madame Elway is actually like Madame Elway as we know her, or like
Hard to say. You'd have to look.
Sharks pass by, except it's big giant boobs. That's an aquarium I'd go to.
I think once we start walking back out there, Keto would be curious at least to track where Lee is, so he's not going to drown.
Fair enough.
Okay, water. Need water now.
Good, I took my bio break.
I gotta pull up fucking Google Doc for all the shit I want.
I have a meme for Keta trying to request something. What do you want, Jay? She asked for her heart pendants.
Get a small bean. Baby.
I can do this. I can do this. Seriously, I've got this.
I am small and I am scared.
Learning to be less scared.
And meanwhile, there's Brimstone who's just asking for like the fucking words.
So who's like literally sitting right next to Keta, who's like,
Yeah. Kenta's she's like, but I don't want to take advantage of them. And Brimstone's like, all right, then I'll take advantage for both of us.
Keta has always been taught you don't ask for a favor you can't return.
We are returning it to multitude fold.
Literally. Yeah.
Technically not. It's you guys. I found the primum. She got kidnapped by the spiders.
Which led us to the primum.
She was the bait for which to catch the juicy, expensive fish.
So it means that Lee was the bait too.
Yep.
Also, I kind of picture when discussing headdress something a bit more like this.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh, I don't know if there's a possible like magic effect that can be put on dependents, knowing if the other person is wearing it.
I think I've seen something like that somewhere.
Something like the critical role, like Dragon
Yeah,
Teeth.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, there's also those rings that you can buy, which as long as they're connected to the internet, will communicate with each other, so that you feel the beating of your partner's heart even while countries away.
It's something like that she wants to get for her parents.
and then
Oh.
they leave internet connection and just like, did they die or did they just lost connection?
Right.
And that is the thing. The one magical effect she'd asked for is just so her, because she knows that being apart is kind of hard for her dad. So it's both. Actually, not just dad, probably both parents. Thought the red and blue would be very nice because it fits with coloring.
Holy crap, is this one crazy?
Just imagine Kaito with the very thick kind of steampunk goggles on now. It's great.
Right. Trying to think of what other color I might want. Can I have psychic damage bullets?
What?
Bullets that only make you think you got hit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Would those
It's a
just
head-
be blanks?
No, like bullets that deal psychic damage.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, not just pure psychic damage though. Like bullet damage plus psychic. It's just I shoot you in the chest. You think it's your heart, but it was really just like up near the shoulder. They're
Apparently
fear rounds.
Apparently this is a thing.
That is a thing, but I don't know why.
No,
I don't know why either.
I'm back.
What? You don't want a chainmail face mask?
I need to remove the vials of blue and red sand.
So, everyone keep an eye out for more primum. Is that the thing?
Right.
Now?
It's an expensive and rare material.
Yeah, we can make money off it anywhere. It's just here we have somebody. Here we have gain besides just currency, potentially.
You have direct gain of
Yeah,
expensive materials rather than just you get money which can later be used for bartering.
exactly.
There's going to be on the lookout for green sand. Because if she can help at least prevent one long trip of travel, she will.
I think we just prevented many long trips of travel.
Right.
So I just think seeing green sand would be fun.
Not something that Fuzzy wanted boots for, was something to protect her from
Walking on the yellow
Heat.
sand.
heat and being dried out, or whatever kind of enchantment that would be.
That was certainly going to be an issue.
And yeah, boots and braces, I think, are only armor pieces that don't count towards armor or proficiency.
I mean, usually how I play it is if you just wear like metal boots, it doesn't count as armor.
Yeah.
So just glass shoes is not going to count.
Yeah, it would have to be a specific full armor set, pretty much.
Did you kick yourself again?
I sneezed.
So yeah, those are the only things that Fauzi could ask for. I guess she could ask for a tiara. Don't know what she'd want out of that. Like, I'm already wearing a bow. What else could I need?
Very excited to have Kenta give her gift to Lee.
All right. I will point out, guys, do keep in mind that whatever you're getting, going
Takes
to
time.
make it take time.
Yeah, I know.
You go get a band-aid.
We'll
Stop hurting
find out
yourself.
how many days it might take and
Yeah, I mean,
way up
at
there.
least a lot of what I'm asking for is very small stuff. So hopefully it can get done relatively quickly.
And Da Vinci's cool with going for like a sword that they already have in stock.
I guess you just want a glass blade.
Glass blade, magic if possible, like if they have any magic ones on the side. But
Thing is that
But
the magic
to-
ones are kind of made to order. They're not just
Yeah,
made.
makes sense. Makes
hmm.
sense.
Yeah, so he's got two things basically that are intended to be magic then, because there was a discussion about the beads, which I'm pretty sure that it was implied that was a magical effect that they have on them.
The skirt of beads they told you about? That would
Yeah,
help you not get hit as often?
yeah,
Yes, that would be a magical effect.
yeah, so that would take time. And then the spell dancer focus.
Oh, is that the chat you wanted to do? Game chat or
Either or.
chat?
I'm back.
I think
Welcome
it's
back.
either or. Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of things that have if possibles. That's mostly just if there's time. If there's no time, then it's fine. I just want them if it's possible to have the time to create them all.
Let me pull up the calendar.
I know. I'm sorry.
I think we've got like 30-ish days.
I'm still
Well,
gonna
yeah,
pull it up and make sure.
We also don't have an exact. We don't know exactly how long it's going to take us to get there. We have an
Wasn't it-
estimate. Well, we have an estimate, but we don't know what else might
no, we have,
waylay us.
I think we had like 80 days.
We had a season to get from Kingfisher's Isle to Fellhaven, and that trip takes a month.
Yes, and we've gone through like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, you started, I believe, on the 7th of summer. And it's now the oh, my brain is not working now. I'm gonna have to do math. Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
I didn't label this calendar correctly with like each date having a number. I just laid it out properly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Do I have anything else I want?
You're now on the 34th?
Okay, and each season has 90 days.
It's gonna be, I think, another 2 weeks to get out of the desert. And
I need to name the.
The
For Pete's sake,
the
seasons have months. I don't know why I decided to do it differently at the very beginning. I need to just make it what it should be for the sake of making it simple enough.
I mean, months kind of tend to go off the moon. If we're just going off seasons, then just naming the seasons, I guess.
It is
And-
still moon cycles.
Oh, okay.
Well, we know.
How many
What have we
moons
decided?
does this planet have? Does this planet have a moon?
It does. It does have a moon.
One.
Okay.
Let me get my notes to make sure I don't say this wrong. Because off the top of my head, if I remember rightly, this planet technically has 4 moons.
Damn.
Like there are 2 that do things, and like 2 important ones, and then there are 2 other small celestial bodies that can
Ah,
be seen
okay.
in the night sky.
Fair enough. Trying to think if I like want anything else.
From what I can figure, we're gonna have to at least going to the Emerald Plateau. We can get to Fellhaven maybe a bit faster, but
Oh wait, no, I was remembering wrong. This
Melody.
planet has 4 orbiting celestial bodies. One of them being Solarum, or the sun. Then there's
No.
Lunarin, or the moon, and then there are 2 smaller orbiting bodies.
Frank and Jerry.
No,
Ben and Jerry.
that may or may not have names, but I don't know if your characters would necessarily know much about them because they just kind
No.
of exist.
No, Brimstone
I don't think
give a
any of
shit
you have specifically done study on the stars.
I might have in the time that I was at home.
We'll talk about that later then.
Fails is a bookworm, so I guess that's a maybe.
Also possible. We'll talk
Yeah,
about that later.
yeah. Fails and Keta, maybe.
Yeah, the big ones are Solarum, which is the sun, and Lunara, which is the moon.
Oh.
Still gonna have to stop at Greater proper for what we know to help elevate.
Which, by the way, you guys are... I'm just going to go back to calling these months so it's less confusing.
Yeah.
You're a little bit under... or a little... You
A
have
little bit over.
a little bit over 2 months, I believe?
Okay.
It's also just not counting in the fact of what may come to us.
Way
on
less.
travel. Yeah. But we know of like our travel plan once we get out of the desert is Emerald Plateau because that is at least a city that Keta knows people. And then you can get stuff there and head Grand and proper, and then
You've got almost 70 days until your supposed deadline you've been told about.
Yeah.
Is there like 7 turns? If we're going by in-game Faerun 10-day weeks, or is it 7 days?
Weeks in this world only have 6 days.
6 days. Okay, so we've got many
Yes.
turns. I just mean if we're going by like 1 week per like travel period.
I want those.
Yeah, we do 1 week per travel period, more or less. And I figure out if anything happens to you guys over the course of that week.
Yeah.
but I think we're all back.
Is Danny back?
She said she was back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've just been quiet. I have rice, so I figured I'd be quiet and not interrupt anything.
I need you to tell me when you're back, or else I'm gonna go off on tangents of explaining world geography.
She did.
I did say I was back, but you were explaining that, and I was like, this is important lore information, so I'm gonna keep quiet.
Be louder. Alright, so everyone's back, we can get back into it.
Yes.
Alrighty then, time to do some rolls.
Yeah, just as a note, when we do get back out into the hall, Keta will cast light just to kind of look in the tubes around her to find.
Alright. I will point out, typically not how that works.
No, well, it's giving her a better like look at things. You just have to rely on her natural dark vision.
Because
Dark vision does not work when you're in bright light.
No, it's kind of
It's
really
saying
like
that.
So she can see further.
I know. I get you.
Yeah.
I think it's because if you're in darkness, you can only see him.
You, you see dim as bright, and no light is dim light, and you only see in gray, unless you're a fire genasi.
I usually say it as that dark vision doesn't work if you're right next to bright light, but fair
I mean
enough.
that makes sense too.
Well, if you've got bright light, you don't need vision, but bright light too.
Anyway.
All right, I'm
And
just
yeah,
looking
in
at
any
the
case.
items that I'm being asked to provide. All right.
Give me a minute.
Question that.
Yes.
So, is there any form of armor that could be made from glass that would be considered light armor?
I mean, they can make light armor.
It's just named differently.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be like leather armor. It's effectively called. It's less armor and more like single pieces of protective jewelry when you're just dealing with light armor.
That makes sense.
So
That's kinda
it'd
cool.
be things like glass bracers or belts that would be used to block specifically like vital areas.
Makes sense.
So, question, Danny. Does Morrigan have studded leather or normal leather?
She wears a chain shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hex blades can go up to medium.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they can.
Yeah. Hex blades get extra armor proficiency.
Mhm.
I think she should also have a shield, but I don't know what she does.
I think I have proficiency in shields. I just do
You
not
have
use that.
proficiency, yeah.
Let me click my armor proficiencies. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You just don't use a shield, from what I remember.
Yeah, she doesn't bother with the shield.
Fair enough. Hey, it's not all about having high AC.
Yeah.
All of the AC.
So, since Morrigan isn't to ask him for anything, Da Vinci will just put in one last request of a breastplate for her.
All right.
Oh, God. Okay.
like
The highest rated medium armor there is, so fair enough.
Half plate is more, but I don't know if the glass would give stealth disadvantage or not.
That is the thing about glass armor, is that it is effectively, mechanically speaking, glass armor is the same as mithril armor. Whereas much lighter than it would otherwise be.
Then up that to half plate then?
Could be
I don't
done.
know if you want half blade or not.
Hey, it's up to her, but he can still have it made. It'll be up to her if she accepts the gift or not.
Yeah.
All right,
Half.
put that in. That would honestly be something that's already made, so easy enough to do.
Mithril.
It would just have to be slightly fitted.
Mithril is like, it weighs half as less, you don't fulfill strength requirements, and it doesn't impose disadvantage on stealth.
Ah.
Yeah.
You still have to be proficient in the armor to use it, however. Or at least to cast spells in it.
I
Ye-
chat while you're doing the rolls.
Mhm.
Because Keta wanted to talk to Brimstone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead. I have to do a crap ton of rolls to see what you guys can get.
Oh, and I haven't even sent Ash what I want.
Finish typing it
I-
out.
I'm sending you the link right now.
Imagine as we're kind of
Why are you
Keta's
sending
going
me a
to
link? Just type it in the chat.
Okay.
Keta's going to grab Brimstone by the arm and say it last night, but I'm sorry if I made you more upset about everything with the whole Radiance. And to push it that far.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. Like I
Mm.
said, a lot of those are if possible. If they can't do them with magic, I just want them normally.
The thing is, like, Dad told me how upset you get when that's brought up, and I thought maybe it get you some peace and you could be happy. But
I mean, it wasn't all bad. At the very least, I know that my father didn't take Mom completely. He might have something of her, but not all of it. Otherwise, I don't think that would have worked.
she gets to be happy in whatever way she wants to be. What about the other name you said?
I mean, she's still alive, which tells me something. It's, I don't know.
Who was she?
Well, first one was my mother. Second one was my fiance, who I thought got torn apart in front of me, but apparently not.
Mom ever meet her?
No.
No, I mean, it's a person I could think of was maybe Dad, but Dad can't cast spells.
Wait, Dad who?
She's talking about her dad.
Okay, yes. Yeah, yeah. Which dad? No, Redemption would have.
Okay, the thing is, well, I know that there's a spell that Mom told me that she knows that she can use to talk to people way distances.
Yeah, I'm acquainted with her abilities to do so.
Perhaps don't think of it. If she's still alive, then we can maybe figure out where she is.
I
Do you want
mean,
to see her again?
I don't know what condition she's in. I don't know how much she remembers. I wouldn't blame her if she didn't want to be with me. After all, if she remembers what supposedly happened to her, fuck. I'd be surprised if the sight of me didn't put her into fucking conniptions. And I wouldn't blame her.
Idea is that if we find where she is and I get the font people, I'm supposed to get her to help an archfey. Who's to say that it won't help her as well? Deserve to be happy. And then if she wants to be with you, then you should be happy.
We'll see.
Promise you'll keep it in mind?
We'll see.
Plan on keeping a lot of the stuff that I've done out on the road secret from Mom, right?
I mean, unless she needs to know, yes. It's not like you're suffering under some long-standing debilitating curse. I mean,
Yes. I'm not. It's just I don't think she'd like to know that, the most of the
Yes.
stuff that I've
yes, I'm well aware of what you're talking about.
Also, I don't think she would want, but either of my parents would like the fact that I gamble a bit.
Probably not.
And she kind of puts out a pinky to him.
Yeah, I'm not exactly looking to get my head bashed in by your mother.
Does he do the pinky?
Rolls his eyes and does it. Just
I don't think Fuzzy's seen Keta gambling, so she can't dog him.
Would have been just like a lot of card games and shit like that on the road.
yeah, while we were traveling to the fort, and probably also back from.
Oh, then Brimstone's doomed.
That ain't the worst.
I have to make so many rolls for Mythosia.
I told you.
I will say, just pointing this out.
I know not all of that's gonna get honored.
No,
Just
I'm
'cause
just.
that's a lot of
Some of those rolls don't turn out well.
Oh, I
Might
know.
not know it.
That's fair. That's fine.
And just kind of the rest of the walking is kind of Keta talking with Brimstone about how do you approach a boy about the fact you want to call him your boyfriend. Basically, from all she knows is that Dravinci and Morgan, they don't seem like the ones for actual relationships, and she knows that at least Brimstone has had somewhat of a stable relationship with the lady in the past.
You just do it. Men, in and of themselves, tend to be fairly simple creatures. And let's be honest, Lee isn't exactly the one with the most subtlety or recognizing it. So, I mean, I guess I wouldn't dance around the issue. Just do it.
You like that when you're with your fiance?
I mean, yeah.
Do you have to? I mean, with mom has told me that. Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Listen, me stories about boys and how stupid they can be sometimes.
Look. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
From mom's point of view, she's been alive for a bit, and then you have, well, and Indra.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just there's a lot to feel weird about it.
Mhm.
I'm still thinking of the whole fact that I have to eventually go and run the church and all that.
I mean, you don't have to follow in your mother's footsteps.
It's not following in mom's footsteps. It's just more so like, as it's been described to Keta, it's not like she has to follow her mom. It's just so the church knows she is a thing. Dash died.
No, he's making rolls.
I'm making statistics for you mofos. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Also, you guys
You're
were
sorry.
RPing, so I kind of just tuned it out
Yeah.
and just kept working.
Yeah. You're sorry. You're sorry. I'm the one making it work.
It's just not that I have to follow mom. Mom knows that I don't want to follow in her footsteps. I'm not a cleric. I'm not a bard.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I got are. But taking at least part of the risk that I won't be immediately hauled over to a church to explain myself if I have to go save you guys with you, have that prevented.
I guess.
What if I have what Morrigan does? She can summon a sword out of her hand. That's pretty cool. Dervenche, he dances and he hits things.
Mhm.
I'm only music, and then I have that other side of myself that allows me to at least help somewhat. Just what everyone can do, I feel small.
I mean, I guess. I don't know if that's-
You can shoot things, Brimstone.
And
Terrible.
I mean, I think if most people were to compare us, they'd probably prefer the whole casting magic thing. I don't know, that's just me.
I'm really good for is getting us into danger.
Getting into what?
Danger.
I'm not going to refute that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you can do as you improve.
Does it look like I know what I can do?
No.
Look at what we're here's not.
You cut out like every other word there.
Ah, hold on.
You've been doing it for a little bit.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it better than before?
For now.
Alright, so what I said before was I looked back at all these others like me, and they're great warriors, but I'm not.
And
I just feel like I'm letting down my whole race once was.
I mean, I'm not exactly what my dad would want me to be either. Considering I am half him and therefore half of whatever the hell he's related to. And if they're like him, I don't want to be like that. Besides, if everybody does the same thing over and over again, what's the point?
I don't know.
Exactly. Besides, somebody's got to record what the hell happens.
Make sure you guys stay alive out there.
Yeah, that too. I mean, Without bards, how many stories of old do you think would have been lost?
But
Exactly. You know better than I do.
there's a lot of stories and haven't been found yet.
Fighting ain't all there is to life. I mean, maybe I'm a poor example.
I was about to say, coming from you who spent most of his life in the military.
Didn't really have much else to care about, so
I'm just gonna be sitting here for a bit, looking for Madam Elway.
he fails.
Um, Amy, you can find me by the light. Quite literally. She says as she kind of
Yeah, hopefully the matron mother is being at least somewhat gentle to the ship.
I mean, we're not gonna need a ship if we're gonna be traveling on land. What's good news to boat on land?
Smash cut to just oops in half.
Oh,
Dervicha could have been with them.
So in other words, he was overhearing the. He dances and hits.
I
to be
imagine.
fair, that's all I told him.
I imagine a lot of this conversation is going on as they're walking back upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as Kata's probably like try to find her boyfriend and friends in the water.
Boyfriend, our
Old lady.
our our elder or our old elf looking Lavani ally who hopefully is not trying to fight Voltol.
Oh god, kaiju fight.
I know, right? Just oh no. Just just come up water thrashing, just failsy. Are they fighting?
No, they're having tea.
Just I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
It's been a while since Mom has been able to stretch her muscles against something.
No.
The
You know that's for where's the ship? Just cry.
Over on the sand over there.
It's like over there, up there, down there.
Yeah, down there. Yeah, I think Elway took it and slammed Mom with it.
Used it as a battering ram.
God damn it.
All right.
Why do I picture
Mythosia.
just,
Oh, sorry.
just side comment? Why do I picture the two fighting and then us off to the side? Just one of us. Oh no, another. Oh no, another. Oh no, failsy. Oh yes.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah.
God damn.
No, it's not failsy that says it. It's fucking Voltolia as she crests.
All right. To be this person, and hate to point this out, but
Yeah.
your bullets.
Uh-huh.
How do you think they're going to make them?
That's a
I
fair point.
assume you're leaving some stuff with them to have reference.
Yes, I would.
Considering
Yeah, yes, I would. I would not be like, hey, figure it out yourself. Just, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave the molds I have. Just
Okay.
I don't know how don't know how glass works, but I've done it with metal before. So if you need help, I can try.
it will just be a process. Again, you were talking to Weaponsmith. I don't know why I said that as one of the armor smiths.
Because that's your default voice for the EMT almost. We haven't encountered many male ones.
There's a
spoken
lot of.
to.
You've actually spoken to quite a few male ones.
Have we?
It's just it's a very female-centered society.
Yes.
The matriarchal society.
Yes.
Looks at Jamia. No,
Yeah.
wonder why.
You mean Jamel?
Jamel.
Jamel.
Two
He is
different
a
characters.
Characters.
Yes. But yeah. Yes.
One's an old satyr person, and the other is a giant lizard woman.
Who is going to become even
I
giant?
get names mixed up easy.
It's fair; those names are similar.
They start the same. But yes.
All right.
And
So-
I would also write down the engravings that I want if they don't already know them.
For Infernal, they'd be able to get those written down.
Okay.
Maybe making sure I've got all of my lists in order.
I'm sorry.
Not
It's
just,
just-
you. I rolled.
No,
a lot.
no, I know. It's just I made you roll a lot.
I did some group rolls for your bullets.
I figured.
The black bullets, they just can't make those.
That's fair.
That's too specific of a thing.
That's
Well,
yeah,
they probably
yeah.
could make those, but it would
It's gonna
require
take
more
too
than
long.
just glass.
That's fine. Yeah, so yeah, those can be omitted. That's no problem. Kind of what I figured, but I was just like, if it can happen.
Here, I thought I was being ambitious at requesting like 4 things that would be magic. Or that could be magic.
I've got some stuff.
To be fair, all of my stuff relies on ammunition.
All right.
I wanted to have a diverse selection. Fuck off.
So, group things. Going down the list, because this is things that you guys would receive relative short order.
Mhm.
Actually, no. I'll go over this later because you have to do the RP if you guys are actually giving them the material to make this worthwhile.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip forward and say you guys get back to the top
Mhm.
and see that there is actually Lady Voltolia is playing with the ship. just has it in her hands.
yeah, Brimstone just turns just.
Which, by the way, we're making jokes that it would be like really small compared to her. It's not small compared to her.
That's fair.
It's a large lake, so I guess it scaled to.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
the size of the body of water is plenty big enough to handle its full size, but
yeah, it's just. Yeah,
also
I mean,
that folding boat does not function the same way as a standard folding boat because it becomes a single, much larger vessel,
yeah,
not
rather than the
a
option of.
dependently sized vessel.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, I guess if we're only seeing the same view we saw earlier, that's only like 40 feet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make much more sense for her to take more of her out of the water.
Well, the rest of her is a snake body.
Exactly. Not like she needs to come on land to play with the boat.
So you do just see her, much like a person who is essentially moving around a wagon. She's just sort of like scooting the boat around in the water, playing with it.
Like a kid in a bathtub.
Kinda.
yeah. If their rubber duck was the size of the bathtub.
Pretty much. It's like whenever someone's playing with one of those like 1/40th scale yachts, like the remote controlled boat things.
Yeah. Just that is oddly endearing.
Luckily, Fauzi managed to get. I'm gonna say it's a big rolled up top of it now because it's dismantled.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because the spider's practically completely dismantled except for the spinneret mechanism.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
You guys took it apart pretty well.
Yeah, I
So it
forgot.
didn't jostle around. I guess we put it on the top and just roll the top.
I mean, wait, no, you guys dismantled the You didn't completely dismantle it. It was still mostly in one piece because that's how they carried it back to the ship.
Yeah.
I just mean all the loose parts. And
Yeah, all the loose parts were probably just essentially put in several burlap sacks,
Hmm.
whereas its main body is still in one piece. What you guys dismantled was the spinneret from its housing and a bunch of the like crystals and stuff out of its main body.
Yeah.
Because if I very specifically remember, it was brought to you guys being carried almost like a stuck pig, just like the wolf was. That was Fenris.
Yes.
But yeah.
looks like there's still a lot of primal left in here.
I mean, that's good.
Jamel had to get it off the ship.
Yeah.
So,
Right before
what
the
about
ship
the
just took
ship?
off.
Yeah, before just starts jostling in the water.
Well, the ship's fine for them.
I mean, as long as she keeps playing with it like that, it should be fun. Hopefully.
Really need to get someone to look at it and repair those holes.
Yeah.
Those holes did already get like patched at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Maybe this
yeah.
was
Yeah,
complete.
we were in it harbor, so would be reasonable to get it patched there.
Yeah, it's just
We're in harbor, but we left too quick to get
Like full repaired.
planks have not been removed and replaced. They have just had patches put on them.
Mm.
And that unfortunately is not something they can do here because wood's not exactly a common material.
Yeah, there's a Lee-sized patch hole and a, I think a tentacle fist size.
Well, that just busted
Oh.
out the window. That didn't really damage the ship too much.
Yeah,
But yeah. You guys will just see the ship in the water, and occasionally a hand will scoot up from behind it and push it forward.
Vince was sitting there and just watching.
I'm always tempted to just leave the boat. So people will question why the hell are boats here?
So you want to leave behind a very useful resource to make people confused when they first come here.
I'm tempted. Not going to, but tempted, just for all of the confusion.
It wouldn't be the strangest thing you have ever done, Felzy.
When they get on the boat.
And although, speaking of strange things in Failsy,
Yeah.
I'm going to go take this to the forge to properly arrange your deal you've done.
thank you.
Bye, honey.
Kata try to get on the boat.
It's nowhere near a space unless you intend to fly where you could get on it.
Get it.
I mean, you can fly. You want to get on that boat, you could get on that boat.
I'm really half tempted to.
Your flies works once per day. Stuck.
Thing is, Kata feels very safe here, so why should she worry about saving it? But I don't think she can make it up that far in a minute.
It's not that far from the bridge that leads out between the main structure of the temple and the sands around it. She just will occasionally like reach a hand up and like push it 40 feet forwards. She's literally just playing with it right now.
Because Keta feels a bit weird being inside and wants to get some fresh air, she will go fly over and be on the boat and say hi.
All right. I believe we'll get back to that in a second. It sounded like Felzy and Dravinci were about to have a conversation.
Well, as mentioned before, it seems like Fenris and my watch have a bit of a connection.
Elsie pets the probably growing hot dog again.
It's not that hot inside the temple, so he's fine right now.
Ah, we're inside, are we?
You guys are kind of like standing just outside the front entrance at this point. But he's not getting that hot that quickly.
Yeah.
Especially
Indeed
considering
it
the
is.
sun is going down right now.
Anything you want to fess up?
Me fess up? I'm just more curious if something could be done to potentially combine two more pieces of Altea. So would you mind if I take a closer look at Fenris?
Would you mind if I take a look at your your little pocket clock? I should say. She doesn't know what is.
He just kind of stares for a minute, contemplating. As long as you don't try to do anything extreme with it.
Do I look like the kind of person who... Never mind.
The answer is yes, but...
I will not do anything extreme with your pocket clock.
Well, I'd like to take a close look at Fenris with it first. See if maybe the two have a connection. But you're free to observe everything that's done as close as you want. And he does pull out the pocket watch.
Right, I shouldn't have called it pocket watch. She hasn't seen locket.
I mean, you did see it when it was shown to Lady Voltolia.
Okay.
Yeah, she has seen it. She hasn't seen it open it, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, sorry, my slip. Out of character knowledge.
And Da Vinci will open it and present it to Failsy.
How did you fit a clock in here?
I didn't. This was a gift from my mentor.
Is there some sort of dimensional folding space in? How the hell do you get in there?
It's just very intricate inside, and now apparently it has a compass. That part's new.
Someone died.
Probably Andy. She came back. Whoever was lost came back.
Myth hopped out and back in, I believe.
I'm
Anyway.
still here.
That's all I'm hearing.
Okay.
There's always the VOD.
I know. It's just for the past minute I have heard, like, Armored and Failsy say a word and then nothing for like 10 seconds.
Gotcha.
Well, please, let's see what you want. Show us your little experiment.
Okay, so moving the watch close to kind of Fenris's head, is there any kind of reaction or anything?
Hmm. Roll for me a D100.
52.
All right. You don't notice any reaction per se. Doesn't seem like anything happened.
Just continue to kind of move the watch along the body. You said you fed the cog to it?
Yes, I believe it's the cog's still in the head, I think. Fenris, do you know?
Orf.
It's been integrated somewhere. I'm assuming the head.
Bjork.
And I wonder if you could command it to spit it out for a second.
Out of character, I'm thinking that's a really bad idea. In character, I think it's stuck in there. Like, death of Fenris to get it kind of stuck in there.
Then don't want to do that.
The cog could change its size, so it might have changed its size again since it's been in there.
Going to put hold the pocket watch since it's not reacting anywhere else on the body in front of Fenris's face and see if Fenris reacts at all.
I will need anything that was just said repeated because it all cut out.
Since there's no reaction kind of moving the watch down the body, gonna hold it in front of Fenris's face to see if he reacts at all.
Bjork. Felzy, you've just saw what happened. I think you got it.
Yeah, the message?
Yep.
Oh, my mistake.
Mhm.
He said it's in the center, his center mass.
Okay. Hold the watch up close to the center mass.
So basically up to his chest.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had it. I didn't even know he had a throat.
So you're
something that could ingest stuff.
So you're saying right here?
About there, yes.
No reaction?
You both hear just a rhythmic ticking in the air.
Well, this is perfectly normal to Da Vinci, but not to Felzy.
Huh.
Going I'm going to try pressing the watch open face against Fenris's chest and see if anything happens.
All of a sudden, the plating just opens up, eats them. Oops, you lost it.
No. You just hear that strange resonant ticking.
Fenris, is that hurting you? I think the
Bjork.
cog's moving.
Bjork.
Bjork.
Ah, that's good.
So,
It doesn't
He's
seem
fine.
to be doing anything else.
and the ticking goes away as the watch moves away back up towards the head.
Yeah.
So, some kind of close resonance. Maybe not a lot to go on from there.
Sorry, get out there.
So, just a resonating force between objects. I don't know what else we can do with them. Unless you want to feed the watch to Fenris as well.
No.
Thought so.
Hard no.
I'd be more open for us trying to open one of his plates and trying to go a more direct route than that.
Fuzzy hugs Fenris. Is like,
Beef Bjork. Which, by the way, Felzy, the things I'm typing to, you're hearing in that same voice, just in your head.
Bjork. That amuses me so much.
Yeah. The only real info you guys can gather from this is that these items will react to each other.
so, where does that compass point?
Currently north.
Okay, so it's a normal compass.
Yes, it seems normal, but got the sneaking suspicion that there's more than meets the eye here.
More than meets the eye.
Mind if I take a look?
Well, you've had me messing around with your dog. And he's going to reluctantly let Failsy hold it.
Alright. Felzy, you are now in possession of the Ting.
I have the thing.
And
Fuzzy
Felzy disappears.
has two things she can try to glean any information out of it. One is her normal investigation, and
Right.
the other is one of her new spells.
Alright. What you doing, what you casting?
Identify object.
Alright, I believe that's a ritual spell for you.
That's yes. It's a probably take about 10 minutes of fiddling to do it.
Doesn't he need a pearl for that?
Oh, do I?
Why would he need the pearl for that?
I think it's a component.
Yeah,
I don't think it gets
So-
consumed, though.
it doesn't. So
No, but Fuzzy's gonna need a pearl from somewhere.
it does specify a specific cost, but if that doesn't matter to you, then
Yeah, like a pearl worth 10 gold or something?
I don't know.
100 gold.
100 gold. So
It's up to Ashram if he wants it or not.
Felsy's gonna need a.
Well, as this is a temple filled with trade goods based around precious stones, it
Fair
probably would
enough.
be too hard to find a pearl worth that much.
Fair enough.
Felsy go request one later then. Unless there's a UNT that she could.
There are guards
down.
all around you guys. Like, one, you're next to the guard position in the front of the temple, and two, Lady Voltolia is out in public right now. They are keeping an eye on her.
Lady Voltolia is out in the public in Elway somewhere.
Yeah, you haven't
Somewhere
seen
we-
Elway or Lee.
I was looking.
We'll get to that in a second.
The lady just pokes one of her finger into the ship and triggers a cannon.
Boop.
Just hits her scale and just ding.
It just sails off into the distance into the desert.
Fair enough.
Just two tiny fingers like tweezers reach in the ship, take a cannon, and sink underwater.
This is mine now.
Alright, fine. You can restock that later.
Alright. But yeah, I will say that you could have a pearl procured rather rapidly from one of these servers of the temple.
I'm sorry to be a bother. Would I be able
This
to borrow a pearl, please?
This is more me saying that it just happens.
Yeah.
And you can cast Identify.
Identification.
Alright. Currently,
Pathfinder died.
you learn this item's currently unlocked potential. It is referred to per your identification spell. Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Altia's
figured
Pocket
you-
Watch is what Dravinche knows it as.
Oh, Felsy knows something else.
You identify it as the timepiece of travel.
Ooh.
Though
Time-
some of its potential uses are unclear, even per your identification spell.
It's got some hidden things.
It seems damaged, is what your identification spell would make you aware of.
You've not been kind to it. It's a bit damaged.
it wasn't me.
Yeah, as far as you're aware, Dravinche, it's in perfectly working order.
I love that Dravinche has fucking Google Maps.
He does. Turn by turn directions.
Yeah, he's got once a day Google Maps for up to 10 miles.
But only if something also in that radius knows where he's going.
That's true. So, like, yeah, like if we were in 10 miles of where Brimstone grew up, then yes. But if Brimstone was there within 10 miles.
But yes,
Well, there was a
that
bit
is
I
what
wanted
you
to
identify from the pocket watch. That is one actually called the timepiece of travel, and two that it appears damaged beyond those abilities. And also make me an Arcana check, because it might be useful to gain this bit of info.
Okay. Arcana. Wait.
Since you're using Identify, I'll say you have advantage of this as well.
Arcana, one of my better skills.
Yep.
Nat
Oh.
20!
That's nice. That's
25.
really nice. The first ability there, that time stop ability, is not originally part of the watch.
Did you add the time stop ability? Because that's new.
No, I haven't made any modifications to it.
Felzy just relaying information
Yeah.
as questions.
The other things you would know is that, again, as is somewhat already been explained to you all, it's a piece of something bigger. Lady Voltolia implies that it's a piece of Altia herself, but you are not certain. It would have 2 other abilities that are not currently unlocked. And then that time stop ability was not originally part of its function. That has been tampered into it.
Oh boy. I can't wait for Fails to be like, wait. But we all have weird things.
With the natural 20, I will say it seems like someone was trying to unlock the other abilities and discovered that as something they could make it do.
Yeah, it's time stop ability is not OEM.
Oh, wait, what?
Not original.
Huh.
Someone
That-
someone put it in there.
Ever since this is the same except for the compass part, this is the same that the watch has been ever since I got it.
Yeah, strangely, the compass is actually that's meant to be there. There's 2 more things in there. I just can't.
They're broken and you cannot understand what they're supposed to be.
Well, if there's 2 more things that I could do, possibly by combining it with that piece that's inside Fenris, it would unlock one of those.
But he's my son. No.
What kind of a check would it be to determine if Fenris can safely remove the cog? Because he was
History
really
check.
insistent on. He was really insistent on eating it.
Make a history check. Because you've seen this before.
Another nat
Okay.
20.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Failsy, also known as Make Me Lore Dump character.
Yeah? Between Failsy and Keta for that.
Yeah. You remember, back to when you first discovered the gear, that while it was inside of another creature, it was forcibly animating it. Even after you guys had destroyed it. And the notion of the fact that when you attach yourself to it, it refers to itself as a control gear. The gear itself might be Fenris. Or what you've decided to call Fenris. It's probably just in that body.
Huh.
Especially when, harkening back to quite a while ago, when you had the gear by itself, you felt a strange psychic connection.
Okay, so new thoughts.
Hmm.
I think the gear is. I think Fenris itself, like level Primum Doggy here, he's just a vessel. The Fenris is actually the cog inside it, controlling.
Not exactly sure I understand.
basically, if I did remove it and shoved it into the, it would still be Fenris. Like, it would still
And-
answer to me as Fenris.
Is there a problem?
Well, we'd lose the dog chassis. But yeah, essentially the dog, I think, is mostly instinct. What's following us now is the actual controlling.
Bark Bjork.
Do you think you could get him to spit it up? Eject the cog out?
Fenris asks Fenris, are you able to do that?
Boof.
Why do I
Yeah.
get the feeling that was a no?
I don't have a message in my head about that, so I think it is. Yeah, that's like asking your brain to go and jump out of your body.
Yes, but we didn't start out with someone or something inserting our brain.
My point is, it's not beneficial to you to be just a brain on the floor. And that's the same thing with Fenris. Likes having.
Yes, if you'd rather not know what else this could do.
So, how about we come back to this question if we find more pieces of tea? You know where Fenris is? Not like he's going anywhere.
Fine.
Me.
But if he falls in combat, do I have your permission to try to get that core?
I'll probably remove my. That said, he's pretty good at animating damaged things. Could fix himself really easy.
Boof. No mess, just boof. Alright.
Yes. So I'll think about it.
In the meantime, I'll take back what's mine.
So, oh yeah, here. She hands back the.
What? No! Just slip it in her own pocket. No, not at all.
The pocket she doesn't have.
Yeah, the pocket that doesn't exist. Well,
Well, if
not one we can talk about on stream.
she has a dimensional pocket, it's like
No, that's true.
pocket. What pocket? It's just gone.
Alright. So, I think I'm going to jump over to something else real quick, and then we're going to be ending it for the night.
Yep.
Alright, then.
Make their way back downstairs towards the.
And then, after stream, I'll tell everyone what they got and what they won't be getting.
Okay.
Keta. When walking up from the Undercity to the top side, you didn't see Lee or Madame Elway anywhere. So it's dawning on you just how large this underground oasis actually is.
She hopes she didn't lose them permanently.
Now that you're on the boat, you're just sort of sitting around, occasionally feeling the boat jut in one direction as Lady Voltolia moves it around.
She's totally like putting on the biggest dramatic persona she can of being a pirate. And she has the space to do it.
Yeah. You hear what best can be described as an orc making a dolphin noise? So, and you just hear a splash sound.
So it's just Lee trying to be Popeye?
Can I look over the side of the ship for the noises?
You look over the side of the ship, literally to see Lee flying up towards the side of the ship as he's just dived out of the water. Just oh, as he sees the fact you're now in front of him, just like, oh no. Make a dexterity saving throw to avoid being headbutted by Lee.
That once you die.
No, natural 20.
Wow, what the fuck?
The perfect, just nope. As you move your head to the side and Lee goes flying over your shoulder. And he just lands 3-point landing on the deck, just like, whoa.
I'm bad.
I haven't gone to swim in a while.
Feeling better?
Yeah. Swimming is nice. It's nice. It's real nice.
I go swimming, so I wouldn't now.
I mean, I don't know how fast you can swim, but it's a very good experience. I could probably hold you. How long you hold your breath?
Not very long.
What is Keta's constitution score?
Teens, her modifier is a 1.
So you can hold your breath for 2 minutes. Because it's 1 plus a number of minutes equal to your constitution modifier.
I tried it once, at least in the bathtub.
Man, because that means Lee's got some lungs even before whatever might help him swim even more. Hey.
Can I ask you something?
He's like scuttling towards you slowly.
Scuttling?
Before
like
you pick me up.
doing the crab walk where your legs are like squat to the side and
Yeah.
looking forwards.
She's like, okay.
Before you think of picking me up to go in the water.
Okay.
I need to ask you something kind of important.
Okay.
I don't know really how to do this, and I asked Brimstone for advice, but he's not very helpful with advice.
Are you going to shoot me?
What did he just say?
He said, "Are you going to shoot me?"
Oh, I thought he said eat. I was like, whoa!
I don't have that. Okay. Okay,
God.
so
Okay.
do you want to be my boyfriend?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Didn't you already ask me that?
I didn't. That's good.
He has like a distant look in his eyes as he's thinking back to when you guys spent the night together.
Listen, I don't remember anything, so if I did, I'm sorry. Very small brain.
I mean, that's not important. A lot was said that night.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Voltalia is still just over this, like, oh, that's adorable.
If you looked over the side of the ship, you just see her face smiling.
Yes, just young love.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Sure, I don't see why not.
Okay.
I don't really know what being a boyfriend entails.
Neither do I.
I mean, you'd be the girlfriend, I think.
That would be for me.
He says that while just like tapping his shin, like, I think that's right.
Because I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Some girl.
I don't know. I could ask maybe Morgan if she has any knowledge, but I don't know. Ask you first, because that's most important. Yeah.
Sorry, I got a message. I gotta check. I did not hear it. You need to say these things more loudly because cutting out and stuff.
Well, I didn't want to say it too loudly and interrupt somebody else's bit.
All right. Yeah. Do you want to just have should have some time after this thing with Andy's character finishes? Do you want to do it after that?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, what did you want to do?
You want to do a bit? Go ahead and do a bit. I don't mind staying up.
No, it's fine.
Lee is waiting now. What you do? Danny.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
I am going to worry about it infinitely now.
I set it up earlier in the session with the question I had Morgan ask. I've been waiting patiently.
Yes, and you need to stop me from doing other things to remind me. There's a lot going on right now. I'm sorry.
That's why I'm saying just don't worry about it.
Well, we can go ahead and do it. Ken is just now going to get a whole new world sequence. Well, Lee literally just catapults her into the water. And I can show you the world sequence, I should say.
Yes, same death.
That is the same song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I thought it was. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know how long this would take, so I'd rather just not do it right now.
Tell me what it is, and then I'll tell you if we can do it before the night ends.
I honestly don't know how long it would take.
Well, tell me what it is, and I'll tell you how long it should take. Because it'll depend on whether or not it can even happen in this situation.
Well, it has to do with where Morgan wanted to go off to the meditation room.
Alright, so...
She's wanting to try to communicate with the Moonlit Aria.
Alright. We have at least 30 more minutes, so we're...
I don't want to keep everybody up. And you already said that after we finished Keta's thing, we were going to call session.
Well, because I thought Keta's thing would take longer, but I thought she had more to say other than just, do you want to be my boyfriend? And Lee's RP response was literally just, yeah.
That's what you have to say. It was like, yeah, do you want to be my boyfriend?
Go ahead and do it.
Alright.
Okay.
But yeah. Finding a quiet place to meditate isn't too difficult in the temple, especially not in these lower rings, which have considerably less foot traffic. Down here is mostly intended for actual religious practices, so finding a point of meditation is not that difficult. You actually, at this point, would probably be able to find a area that's lit by small glimmering crystals, and there's no one else in this alcove at the moment. It's a relative moment of peace that you've not really found anywhere else in this trip thus far. So you want to attempt to commune with the Moonlit Aria?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to roll something and we'll see how this goes. Alright. Make a wisdom check for me.
Just a wisdom check?
Do you have proficiency in wisdom saving throws?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead and roll that.
Okay. That's a 10.
Alright. Luckily, the communion score I rolled was actually fairly high, so did not have a high DC. You feel a familiar darkness overtake you as you close your eyes. Typically the void of sleep, as you've previously come to understand it when you speak with the Aria. But there's just a calmness to it. And when you open your eyes again, you're standing at the edge of that pool that you remember so well.
She's just gonna stand there for a moment before saying what, or asking her question. I met someone who said they knew you. I don't know if I was ever meant to know that. That you used to be a living person.
When you say that, a figure appears on the water.
Like an actual, like, figure, not just the general kind of feeling.
Yes, where previously you've only ever experienced through what you believe to be a sensation, or seeing the rippling of the water surface before you. The center of the ripple that suddenly cascades out in this pool, there now stands a cloaked figure, just looking towards the moon, always set high above the treetops in this clearing. Below their feet, you can see, out through the back of the robe, long golden threads of hair just curling into the water. At once, maybe.
I have a few questions. I
You may ask.
won't pry into why you are the form you are now. Everyone has their reasons for that. I do wonder though, why pick me? Why pick the silly little farm girl from Bogcrest?
You see the head of this figure slowly loll from side to side, and just the gentle ripples that are caused by its motion. It's weird to see the figure that so many times you've simply seen the result of its motion. Why pick you? Because you found me. Because... And the head that's lolled to the side slowly turns. But you don't see a face. You see an empty robe before you, with golden hair pouring out the back. No body, just a robe and hair. Because I was needed. Because and the voice just starts to fade away, uncertain.
That's fair, I suppose.
There's a rush of wind over your shoulders as you now see those golden hairs draping over you. The Arya, like so many times before, behind you. Just out of sight. Though for the first time there is something to see. Because I felt that you wanted to protect, to save. You seemed a fitting champion. And maybe I haven't seen that until now.
Well, then I hope I live up to your expectations.
Just feel a gentle hand just brush through the hair on the back of your head. You have. And you will. That child. The one you saw. Do you remember her?
The one in the vision.
Yes.
I do.
Please save her.
I'm working towards that. I'm doing my best. I'm only mortal. The only thing I can really promise is I'll try.
It's only ever been the mortals that have gotten anything done.
I guess if you say so, you probably know better than I would.
There's just a chuckle that fills the air. have any other questions?
How much am I allowed to share about my knowledge of you?
As much as you feel appropriate. I may have been hidden, but I am not a secret.
Alright. I just didn't want to make assumptions and didn't feel I had the right to ask until now.
I didn't have a voice to answer. Not in truth.
That was truthfully all I needed and wanted to ask of you.
Alright. You may always return here. Remember that, Morrigan.
I will.
When you find her, give my child my regards. And you're suddenly pulled back into your body.
Yeah, it's just like as soon as she comes out of it, it's just kind of like, oh fuck. It's far more important than I thought it was.
There's a definite connection that can be drawn. Those threads of hair like spun gold.
Yeah, just as soon as she's got her bearings back to her, she's just, yeah, out of the room looking for anybody else in the party.
See Keta and Lee go past over the tube above you.
Keta's waving hi.
Lee is
Cozy.
swimming like a dolphin. Like
Yeah.
3 seconds later, you see Elway go zooming past the tube as well after them.
Kid, oh wait, no, Keta can't use message because if she opens her mouth, she's gonna drown.
So yeah, that you're looking for your other party members. That's what you see.
Yeah, that kind of can't talk to them right now, so
You
just
would
like,
remember when you split off from everyone. After they did their exchange, they said they were going to go back at the top.
yeah.
This be around the time Keta also has to maybe come up for air.
Probably. But yeah, what were you gonna say, Danny?
She would just continue try to find anybody else in the party. Like, as it is right now, she'd preferably try to find either Brimstone or Da Vinci.
Honestly, I kind of imagine Da Vinci is probably still in the facility helping them make the bullets and the lens to his
You mean
specifications.
Brimstone?
That's what I meant, yes. I'm bad with words, everyone. There's a lot of proper nouns in my brain.
So would that mean that she'd most likely run into Da Vinci then?
I mean, she's in a place that literally is probably about 30 feet away from the entrance to the facility. Like, to the forge. Like, remember, that forge is considered a place of divine reverie. So, there are a lot of these little shrines around it where people pray at.
Mm-hmm.
Fauzi and Da Vinci were travelling back down. this point.
Yeah.
You guys are quite a while away.
So maybe the most likely to find is Brimstone, with then Kekta to follow behind to listen.
Wasn't Brimstone also up at the surface too?
I don't remember him saying anything at the surface other than making jokes on Mythspart. And I don't remember why, because I remember him saying specifically he'd stay back and help make the bullets if they needed it. Considering they've never made them, they need it.
You are muted if you are talking.
Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah, he would have gone up to just make sure the ship was fine and then gone right back down. So, yeah, he'd probably be there or close to.
Yeah. I'll actually, for the sake of that then, I'll say that you are getting out of your trance, see those two going past, and not very long after see Brimstone start coming back down the hallway. Given how the time frame of all this would work.
Yeah.
Considering Failsy and Da Vinci would have been up at the surface for considerably longer with the ritual casting of Identify and everything.
And messing with the clock and
10
dog.
minutes.
Well, still quite a bit longer. Also, you cast it more than once, so.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know.
Did you not cast on the far, on the gear?
No.
I couldn't get my hands on the gear.
Yeah.
I did a history check to remember the gear.
Well, still, that took time. So yeah, the first person you find is Brimstone. That you can talk to.
And she would not be trying to hide that she looks clearly a little, at least a little bit stressed by that information.
just look. What?
We may need to hurry up what we're doing here.
Fuck. Why?
Probably be better if I explain with everyone here, but the vision I was given, it's a lot closer to home than I thought it was. A lot more important than I thought it was.
Okay, then.
You remember what Jemble's mother said?
No.
She referred to my sword as a her.
I mean... No. Given what she said about other people, I'm assuming that wasn't just a metaphorical. Okay. What does that have to do with...
I'm gonna sound fucking crazy, but my sword used to be an Azamar.
Oh.
And that girl I saw in my vision, if what I just... in communing with the spirit in my sword is true, that girl I saw in my vision is her daughter.
Brimstone just gets a face of... just confusion, like... How does... oh, wait.
I know, it sounds crazy.
No, I was just sword kit. Not important right now.
I will say, Brimstone among anyone would probably have some clue as to how Azamar and children work. Doesn't mean they're necessarily the direct descendant of that person. It means they are now assuming their divine role.
It's more of a divine inheritance rather than direct parentage, but...
Sometimes
Brimstone
it's direct parentage, but
well, yeah,
otherwise
it's
it's divine heritage.
It's just Brimstone doesn't process that at first because like just a lot of information all at once and just how does this sword? Oh wait, Asmar. Okay. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's not good. If somebody gets their hands on them, that's bad.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah, so the faster we can be done here, as much as I know Failsy's probably enjoying getting to spend time with her wife, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Need to let the others know, though, and honestly, probably wouldn't be bad if I took a minute to sit down and try to, gather my thoughts. That was a lot of information given to me.
Yeah,
You think Lee took you back through that tunnel?
Yeah, no.
He's basically waiting until you slap him before he takes you back to the surface to let you breathe.
I think she would not be after that 2 minutes of like, let me up.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd take you back up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you need to breathe. Okay. He says underwater. I'm not joking, he does.
On closer inspection, you see gills on Lee.
No.
But go back to Morgan.
He's a Shigaraki.
Yeah, but the thing that would follow for that of, like, telling the party and everything, that can wait for next session.
Alright. Alrighty then, I'm going to say that this session is going to wrap as the party regroups. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Imagine that's kind of weird. If I'm being taken up to the surface, isn't a very large snake lady still there too?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you've been seeing her this entire time you've been swimming around. You just see her tail. He has occasionally made you swim around it.
I just like the idea of Elway. But, like, she's swimming, but she's not moving. It's just like a fucking torpedo.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
That's amazing.
Is she Elway before this session ends, is she Elway in human form or is she big?
She's
Well,
never
Elfway.
been a human form.
Yeah, Elfway.
Elf form.
Yeah, she's Elway in elf form.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be prudent to shift to Levani.
Leviathan, but yeah.
I'm picturing
Whatever.
Elway
Yeah.
being like Princess
True.
Leia from Last Jedi, just out, like, sort of floating out in space.
There's a particular question I had if Kekta was seeing her as she was swimming.
Yeah, you see her just rocketing behind Lee, just after you.
In elf form or
Elf form.
Elf form.
Said that already.
We clarified this. Yeah. Yeah, she's just a fucking elf torpedo.
Not making any motion to swim at all, just essentially flying underwater.
The robes trailing behind her.
Like every time you see wizards flying in Harry Potter without brooms.
Yeah. She's just on an aquatic Segway.
Alright, anyways, chill.
Hello. That is me. Hi.
Chilling is you.
The proper link again. Because I posted a meme.
When
So
the meme gets you.
you have seen me tonight as Keta, the simplicitous bard who has a lot of emotions and likes to play pirate.
The giant snake one.
Yes. But Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can find me as Desire, the tiefling bard, who has a party member who tried to steal owlbear cubs, and now we have to maybe fight a hill giant.
Nice.
After, killing a demon. But
I thought you were a blood hunter in that game, not a bard.
Desire is a blood hunter.
Sorry.
A lot of thoughts in mind.
I know the feeling.
You can find us there at twitch.tv/Slatharian Citizen. You can also find other streams there. The DMs will stream World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, a couple other games I'm not too sure of. Chill dude just to watch in general, besides, the whole D&D stuff. Also, again, happy birthday, Tim.
Yee.
I'll cover the Curse of Strahd.
Okay. So on to Hatch.
Hello. I am the DM. Next person.
Failsy.
I have no shills ever.
Of course. Okay. Yes, I am Mathosian. So, get back in the actual book again. So, this Saturday at 6 p.m. EST, we're going to be doing more Curse of Strahd. I forget specifically where we left off, but yeah, we're going to be doing more shit. Also, Mondays, 2 p.m. EST, Shadows and Starlight on the same channel, which is the_lady_Ori, where I play Pelgrim, and we found somebody very important that is good that they're alive, but bad if people find out if they are. And one of our party members got a girlfriend.
You find the
Nice.
bunny rabbit yet?
Yes, we found the bunny rabbit.
I don't know why, that statement sounds vaguely threatening.
I mean, our monk is a puka who can turn into a rabbit. And she gets called Rabbit by one of the other party members.
Your monk is a hookah?
Puka.
Puka, it's a fae that can turn to rabbits.
Okay, well, a hookah is also a tobacco smoking incident.
That's something else.
Okay, well, I heard the word.
Yeah, they're
Puka.
close. Anyways.
E.
Her boyfriend also.
Hoopa, okay.
Yeah.
I typed it out in game chat for you.
Yeah, they're close. Anyways.
Puka, okay.
Yes.
Sorry, similar letter
Think the Easter Bunny from Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah.
rabbit person.
Yee.
Close enough. Anyways. Find me there. Not really anywhere else besides here. Tampa.
Alright. Yeah, I know, it's my turn. Sorry, I'm having to stretch and my back is still wanting to be painful. But yes, if you enjoyed today, then should everything align for it properly again, come Monday, somewhere between 3 and 4 p.m. EST, there will be session 3 of Gathering Tide, where I am still playing a tiefling, but different tiefling, and she's a bard, and there's weird stuff with Zalista. I mean, her shadow has a name, for goodness sakes.
I mean, gosh darn, you guys made a screaming wall and terrified guard last time.
Yeah.
Constant banshees.
Yeah. Well, that is the dynamic married duo of Kin and Cloud on that one.
Go figure. The best thing during a stealth mission. Start fucking screaming!
Well, it made Fred and Bob realize their feelings for each other. But yes, anyway, you can... Should everything align properly for that, then again, on this channel, 3 to 4 p.m. EST on Monday, we'll be Gathering Tide with the DM, Jack Dittman, and our other player, who I believe goes by the name of Kate. I could be wrong, and if I am, I apologize. And then you will find all this merry band here again next Thursday at right around 7 p.m. EST, where, oh boy!
It's a lot.
Hopefully Morrigan doesn't sound completely crazy when she's explaining this to everyone.
I mean,
She
I
does,
think
but it's not the craziest thing that's happened to this party.
Yeah,
I
honestly.
think the most concerning part is the fact that it's going to be an Asmar, and then Keth is going to be like, wait, you have an Asmar in your sword?
Yeah. But yeah, that's. We'll just have to, wait till next session and see how that goes.
I'm trying to explain.
I'm trying to explain. We got to leave now.
Not necessarily leave now, but as soon as possible. But
So gets all this shit.
Listen, it's not all for me.
alrighty, but with that, I think we should all say our goodbyes and our good nights.
Hi.
Goodbye. Good night.
Oh,
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Good friends, goodbye.
So I did get to talk to Madame Elway again.
We'll talk to her soon enough. Don't worry. We're
She's
traveling with
disappeared
her.
into a tube.
She wanted to swim.
look, she's in her natural element now.
She drank like 19 margaritas and she wanted to swim.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Oh,
She
she's
can breathe
drunk.
underwater. She can breathe underwater. She's fine.
No, she's drunk.
Anyway.
Baby.
Anyway.
She's drunk and chasing.
With that, good night, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.